2 weeks after Margaret's banishment, life starts to feel almost normal again. Almost. I'm 8 months pregnant now, huge and uncomfortable, and constantly needing to pee. Dr. Vance has cleared me for light activity, but insists on weekly checkups. The baby is healthy, active, and apparently determined to use my bladder as a punching bag. He's going to be a fighter, Dax says one morning, his hand on my belly as our son delivers a particularly aggressive kick. Just like his mother, I'm not a fighter, I'm a mediator. You fought Margaret Cross, you fought the conservative bloc, you fought for your right to exist. His eyes meet mine. You're absolutely a fighter, Oatmeal. I suppose he has a point. We've moved back to Dax's penthouse, though security remains tight. Connor and Maya are still assigned to me, along with 2 additional wolves who rotate shifts. It's excessive, but after everything that's happened, I don't argue. The conservative Alpha bloc has gone quiet. Alpha James issued a public apology, forced by his own pack council after Margaret's deception was exposed. He looked like he was swallowing glass the entire time. The other alphas who signed the binding petition have either apologized or stayed silent. No one wants to be associated with Margaret's manipulation. You have another mediation request, Margaret, Assistant Margaret says, bringing me coffee in the penthouse living room. Alpha Thomas from Mountain Peak and Alpha Sarah from Valley Creek. Territory dispute over hunting grounds. When? They're requesting next week, but I told them you're heavily pregnant and might need to postpone. No, I can do it. I take the coffee gratefully. Next week is fine. It'll give me something to focus on besides being enormous. You're not enormous, you're pregnant. But she's smiling. I'll confirm with them. Dax emerges from his home office, already on his phone. Marcus needs me at the office for a few hours. Emergency board meeting about the Sterling acquisition. I'll be fine here. Connor and Maya are outside. Silas has eyes on the building. And Margaret's here if you need anything. He's already in protective mode, running through the mental checklist of my safety. Call me if anything happens, I'll call. I stand on tiptoes to kiss him. Go. Be the terrifying CEO. I'll be here gestating and probably eating everything in the kitchen. He kisses me properly, his hand cupping my belly. I love you. Love you too. Now go before Marcus explodes. Once he's gone, the penthouse feels too quiet. I try to settle on the couch with a book about Luna meditation techniques, but I can't focus. My mind keeps drifting to Margaret's words. Wasted potential. Am I wasting my potential? I've mediated 3 disputes. I'm preparing for motherhood. I'm training with Lorraine to improve my control. But is that enough? Should I be doing more? My phone rings. Catherine, hi, Mom. The word still feels new, but I'm getting used to it. Darling, how are you feeling? Any contractions? Not yet, just the usual back pain and the baby using my ribs as a xylophone. She laughs. I remember that feeling. Alexander used to talk to you through my belly, trying to convince you to be gentler with my internal organs. The image makes me smile. Did it work? Not even a little. You were stubborn from the beginning. Her voice softens. I wanted to call because your father and I have been discussing something about after the baby is born. Okay. We know you and Dax are planning the mating ceremony for after the birth, but we were hoping you'd consider having it at the Moonhaven estate. It's your ancestral home, Remy, where you should have grown up. We'd like to host your ceremony there if you're comfortable with that. The Moonhaven estate. I've only been there twice, once for the DNA revelation, once for a brief visit. It's massive, beautiful, intimidating. Nothing like the foster homes or apartments I grew up in. I don't know, I say honestly. It's your home. Wouldn't it be weird to have my mating ceremony there? It's your home too, Catherine corrects gently. You're a Moonhaven, Remy. That estate is your birthright. And having your mating ceremony there would mean everything to your father and me. A chance to give you the celebration we couldn't give you growing up. Tears prick my eyes. Damn pregnancy hormones. Can I think about it? Talk to Dax? Of course. No pressure, darling. Whatever you decide, we'll support. After we hang up, I sit there processing. The Moonhaven estate. My ancestral home. A place I should have known my entire life but only discovered months ago. Would having the ceremony there feel right? Or would it feel like I'm playing dress-up in someone else's life? You're overthinking, Margaret says, appearing with a sandwich I didn't ask for, but definitely need. I can see it from across the room. My parents want to host the mating ceremony at their estate. The Moonhaven estate is incredible. You should do it. But it doesn't feel like mine. It feels like theirs. Because you haven't lived there yet. She sits beside me. But it is yours, Remy, your family's legacy, your son's inheritance. Maybe having the ceremony there would help you claim that part of your identity. She has a point. I've been so focused on being Dax's mate, on being a Luna, that I haven't fully embraced being a Moonhaven. Maybe the ceremony would be a way to honor both parts of my identity, Wolfe and Moonhaven, mate and daughter, Luna and heir. I'll talk to Dax, I decide. When Dax gets home that evening, I'm in the kitchen attempting to bake. Less attempting being the key word. I'm covered in flour and the cookies look more like charcoal discs than anything edible. What happened here? He's trying not to laugh. I wanted to surprise you with cookies. Instead, I created carbon. I gesture helplessly at the smoking oven. Why do you make this look so easy? Because I'm not 8 months pregnant and distracted by overthinking. He opens windows to clear the smoke, then pulls me away from the oven. What's on your mind? I tell him about Catherine's offer. He listens without interrupting, his expression thoughtful. What do you want? He asks when I finish. I don't know. Part of me wants it, the chance to claim that heritage, to have our ceremony somewhere meaningful. But another part feels like an imposter, like I'm playing pretend in someone else's castle. It's not someone else's castle. It's yours. He turns me to face him. You're a Moonhaven, Remy, born to that family, entitled to that legacy. Having our ceremony there wouldn't be pretending, it would be claiming what's rightfully yours. You wouldn't mind having the ceremony at my family's estate instead of something more neutral? I'd get married in a parking lot if it meant you'd be my mate officially. His thumb brushes my cheek. The location doesn't matter to me. What matters is making you mine in the eyes of the moon goddess and every pack in North America. I'm already yours. Not officially. Not with the ceremony and the vows and the bonding ritual. His eyes darken. I want everyone to know you're mine permanently. No questions, no doubts, no way to break it. Heat pools low in my belly despite my pregnant exhaustion. You're very possessive when it comes to you. Absolutely. He kisses me, slow and deep. So what do you say? Moonhaven Estate? Yes, I decide. Let's do it there. Claim my heritage and bind our mate bond all at once. Perfect. He kisses me again, then grimaces. Now let's order dinner because those cookies are inedible and I'm starving. The next week passes in a blur of preparation. The mediation with Mountain Peak and Valley Creek goes smoothly. Another successful dispute resolved. Catherine starts planning the mating ceremony with Eleanor's help, the two former Lunas bonding over seating charts and catering options. Lorraine continues my training, focusing on maintaining control during high-stress situations. You'll need it during labor, she explains. Luna power can surge unpredictably during childbirth. We need to make sure you can keep it contained. The thought of accidentally freezing my entire medical team during delivery is terrifying, so I practice diligently. Dr. Vance clears me for the ceremony planning, but insists I stay off my feet as much as possible. You're at 36 weeks now. Baby could come any time in the next month. No unnecessary stress. Planning a mating ceremony while 9 months pregnant isn't stressful at all, I say dryly. She gives me a look. Try to rest, Remy, for both your sakes. But resting is easier said than done. My mind won't shut off. I'm constantly thinking about the ceremony, the baby, my role as Luna, the prophecy I'm supposed to fulfill. Margaret's accusations about wasted potential still haunt me. You're doing it again, Dax says one night, catching me staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. Overthinking everything. I can't help it. What if Margaret was right? What if I'm not doing enough? You've mediated 4 pack disputes in 7 months while pregnant and dealing with assassination attempts and conservative opposition. What more do you think you should be doing? I don't know. Something bigger? More revolutionary? He props himself up on one elbow, looking down at me. You want to know what I think? Always. I think you're already doing exactly what you're meant to do. The prophecy said you'd unite the packs. It didn't specify how. Margaret assumed it meant violent revolution because that's what she wanted. But you're proving there's another way, through mediation, through showing strength without domination, through building bridges instead of burning them. That sounds nice, but is it enough? Ask the 4-packs you've helped find peace. Ask the conservative alphas who are slowly coming around because they've seen you act with restraint and wisdom. Ask our son, who's going to grow up in a more unified pack system because of the work you're doing. His hand finds my belly. You're changing things, Remy, just not in the loud, destructive way Margaret wanted. You're doing it quietly, steadily, building something that will last. Tears blur my vision. How do you always know exactly what to say? Because I pay attention to you. Because I love you. Because watching you doubt yourself drives me crazy when I can see so clearly how extraordinary you are. He kisses me softly. Now sleep. We have a mating ceremony to plan and a baby to prepare for. You'll need your strength. I curl into him, feeling our son move between us, and finally let myself believe it. I'm not wasting my potential. I'm fulfilling it. Just not in the way anyone expected. And that's exactly as it should be. 3 weeks later, I'm 39 weeks pregnant and ready to be done. I can't see my feet, I complain to Eleanor as she supervises the ceremony setup at the Moonhaven estate. I waddle everywhere. I have to pee every 15 minutes, and this baby has decided my ribs are his personal jungle gym. You're almost there, Eleanor says, examining the floral arrangements with a critical eye. Dr. Vance said you could go into labor any day now. She's been saying that for 2 weeks. I shift uncomfortably in my chair. At this rate, I'm going to be pregnant at my own mating ceremony. Would that be so terrible? Catherine appears with a glass of water I definitely need. Having your ceremony while carrying Alexander's grandson? There's something poetic about it. There's something uncomfortable about it, I counter. I can barely fit into the dress we ordered. If I get any bigger, I'll need a tent. The dress is perfect, Catherine assures me. And you look beautiful. I don't feel beautiful. I feel like a whale. But the Moonhaven estate itself is stunning, transformed for the ceremony with white flowers, silver ribbons, and enough candles to qualify as a fire hazard. The guest list is finalized, Margaret reports, appearing with her ever-present tablet. 217 confirmed attendees. All major North American packs represented, plus the Luna Council members. That's a lot of people, I say nervously. It's a historic event, Eleanor reminds me. The prophesied Luna's mating ceremony to one of the most powerful alphas in the country. Everyone wants to be here. No pressure or anything. Dax finds me an hour later, still sitting in the garden while Catherine and Eleanor debate centerpieces. He looks harried, his tie loosened and hair disheveled. Marcus is driving me insane, he says, dropping into the chair beside me. He keeps asking about the ceremony protocols, where to stand, when to speak, what to wear. You'd think he'd never been to a mating ceremony before. He's your beta. He takes these things seriously. He's being annoying. But Dax is smiling. How are you feeling? Fat, tired, ready for this baby to evict himself. Soon. His hand finds my belly and our son immediately kicks in response. He knows his dad. Or he's protesting being cramped in there. I lean into Dax. Are you nervous? About the ceremony? No, I've wanted to officially call you my mate since the day you agreed to the fake contract. His voice drops. The only thing that would make me nervous is if you changed your mind. Not a chance. I kiss him softly. You're stuck with me, Wolfe. Best news I've heard all day. The ceremony is scheduled for the day after tomorrow, a full moon, considered auspicious for mating bonds. I'm trying not to panic about going into labor before then. The baby will wait, Lorraine assures me during our final training session. First babies rarely come early, but they can. They can, which is why we're preparing you to maintain control even during labor. She has me practice containment exercises, pulling my Luna power inward instead of projecting it outward. If contractions start during the ceremony, you'll need to keep your power from affecting the guests. What if I accidentally freeze everyone? Then Dax will unfreeze them and we'll continue. She smiles. But you won't. You've practiced this enough. You'll be fine. I hope she's right. That night, Dax and I have dinner alone in the penthouse, our last night before the ceremony. Tomorrow we move to the Moonhaven estate for final preparations, and by tradition, we'll sleep separately the night before the ceremony. I don't like the sleeping separately tradition, Dax grumbles over his steak. We're already mates in every way that matters. Why spend our last night apart? Because it's tradition, and because Catherine asked me to respect it. I push vegetables around my plate. It's just one night. One night too many. His eyes flash gold. I don't sleep well without you. Neither do I, but we'll survive. I reach across the table to take his hand, and then we'll never sleep apart again. Right, we won't. After dinner, we curl up on the couch together. Dax's hand rests on my belly, feeling our son's movements. The baby has been unusually active today, kicking, rolling, making his presence very known. He's excited, Dax says, or he's trying to escape. I would be if I were trapped in there. 2 more weeks maximum, according to Dr. Vance. Then we meet him. The thought fills me with equal parts excitement and terror. What if I'm a terrible mother? You won't be. You don't know that. I don't have a good parental example. Foster homes and Aunt Carol did their best, but you're going to love our son with everything you have, Dax interrupts. You're going to protect him and raise him and teach him how to be strong and kind, just like you are. I'm not that strong. You survived Margaret's mind games. You faced down the Luna Council. You're carrying the prophesied alpha while dealing with pack politics and assassination attempts. His eyes meet mine. You're the strongest person I know, Remy. Our son is lucky to have you as his mother. Tears blur my vision. Hormones, I mutter, wiping at them. Love, he corrects, pulling me closer. Just love. The next morning, we pack and head to the Moonhaven estate. The place is already buzzing with activity, caterers setting up, florists making final adjustments, security doing sweeps of the grounds. Your suite is ready, Catherine says, guiding me upstairs to a beautiful room overlooking the gardens. Everything you need is here. The dress, the jewelry, everything. The mating dress hangs in the closet, white silk with silver embroidery, designed to accommodate my pregnant belly. It's beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. Tomorrow, Catherine says softly, you become officially mated, bound to Dax in the eyes of the moon goddess and all the packs. She touches my face gently. I wish I could have been there for all your other firsts, but I'm grateful I get to be here for this one. Me too, Mom. The word comes easier now. Thank you for everything, for not giving up searching for me, for accepting me even though I'm not the daughter you remembered, for planning this ceremony. You're exactly the daughter I remembered, she says firmly. Strong, stubborn, full of life. I'd know you anywhere, Remy. We spend the afternoon in final preparations. The ceremony will take place in the estate's garden at sunset tomorrow. 200+ guests will witness Dax and me exchange vows, complete the bonding ritual, and officially become mates. No pressure. By evening, I'm exhausted. Dr. Vance stops by for a final checkup, pronouncing both me and the baby healthy. No signs of labor yet, she reports. You should be fine for the ceremony tomorrow, but I'll be on standby just in case. Just in case I go into labor in front of 200 people? It would be memorable, she says with a smile. But unlikely. Try to relax tonight, get some rest. Easier said than done. That night, alone in the massive suite, I toss and turn. The bed feels too big without Dax. Our son won't stop kicking, and my mind races through everything that could go wrong tomorrow. What if I trip walking down the aisle? What if my Luna power surges and I accidentally influence the guests? What if I go into labor mid-ceremony? What if my phone buzzes, a text from Dax, can't sleep without you? I smile, typing back. Me neither. Me neither. One more night, then never again. Promise. I love you, Oatmeal. Love you too. I set the phone aside, resting my hand on my belly. Our son kicks in response and I whisper to him in the darkness. Tomorrow, your dad and I make it official. Tomorrow, we become a family in the eyes of everyone who matters. Tomorrow, everything changes. Another kick. I take it as agreement. I must fall asleep eventually because I wake to sunlight streaming through the windows and Catherine gently shaking my shoulder. It's ceremony day, she says, smiling. Time to get ready. The next hours pass in a blur. Breakfast in bed, I can barely eat from nerves. A long bath with oils that are supposed to be calming. Margaret doing my hair and makeup while Eleanor supervises. Catherine helping me into the dress, which fits perfectly despite my fears. When I finally look in the mirror, I barely recognize myself. The dress flows over my pregnant belly like water, the silver embroidery catching the light. My hair is swept up in an elegant twist, the Luna pendant gleaming at my throat. I look like a Luna, like a bride, like someone who belongs in this world of power and prophecy. Beautiful, Catherine breathes. Absolutely beautiful. Dax is going to lose his mind, Margaret adds. Eleanor nods approvingly. You look like the Luna Queen you're meant to be. There's a knock at the door. Alexander enters, stopping short when he sees me. Remy, he says, his voice rough. You look just like your mother did at our mating ceremony. Really? Exactly like her. He crosses to me, offering his arm. Ready? It's time. My heart pounds, as ready as I'll ever be. Then let's go make you officially a wolf. We walk through the estate, down the grand staircase, toward the garden where 200 guests wait. Where Dax waits. As we approach the garden entrance, I hear music begin, traditional Pack ceremonial songs. Through the doorway, I catch glimpses of white flowers, silver ribbons, candles glowing in the early evening light. And at the end of the aisle, standing beside the officiant, I see Dax. He's in a black suit that fits him perfectly, his dark hair styled, his gray eyes fixed on the doorway like he's been counting the seconds until I appear. When I step into view, his expression transforms into something that steals my breath. Wonder, love, possession. All mixed together in a look that says mine more clearly than words ever could. Ready? Alexander whispers. I take a deep breath, resting one hand on my belly. Ready, I say. And together, we walk toward my future. The first 24 hours with Adrian are simultaneously the most beautiful and most exhausting of my life. He's perfect, everyone agrees on that. Tiny but healthy, with strong lungs that he demonstrates frequently at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and 4 a.m. Dr. Vance checks him thoroughly and pronounces him completely normal, though she notes his alpha aura is already unusually strong for a newborn. He's going to be powerful, she says, watching him sleep in my arms, just like his parents. The prophecy hangs unspoken in the air, the most powerful alpha in generations, born to unite the packs. But right now, he's just my baby, small and warm and utterly dependent on me for everything. You should sleep, Dax says for the 100th time. He's been hovering since the birth, alternating between staring at Adrian in wonder and trying to get me to rest. I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I panic that he's stopped breathing. He's fine. Look at him. Dax gestures to where Adrian sleeps in the bassinet beside our bed, or rather the bed in the Moonhaven estate suite we've temporarily claimed as our own. Breathing perfectly, making those little snuffling sounds completely healthy. I know, but what if? No what ifs. Dax gently takes Adrian from my arms despite my protest and places him in the bassinet. Then he climbs into bed, pulling me against his chest. You just gave birth. You need rest. I'll watch him. You need sleep too. I'll sleep when you do. Now close your eyes. I do, but my mind won't shut off. Did everyone leave? The ceremony guests? Most left this morning. Eleanor's coordinating everything. Marcus took Sarah and the kids home. Your parents are staying in the guest house. They want to be nearby to help with Adrian. His hand strokes my hair. Alpha, Sarah, Chen, and a few others asked to visit tomorrow if you're up for it. To see Adrian or to see if he's the prophesied Alpha? Both, probably, but you don't have to see anyone you're not ready for. Adrian makes a small sound in his sleep. We both freeze, watching, but he settles again. I can't believe he's here, I whisper. Yesterday I was pregnant and getting mated. Now there's a whole person who didn't exist before. He existed, just inside you. Dax's voice is soft. But yeah, it's surreal, holding him for the first time. I've never felt anything like that. Terror and love mixed together? Exactly. He kisses my temple. Now sleep, oatmeal, before he wakes up demanding food again. I manage 3 hours before Adrian's cries wake me. Dax is already up, changing him with the careful concentration of someone handling something precious and breakable. He's soaked through, Dax reports. How does someone so small produce so much? Don't finish that sentence. I'm already moving to the bed's edge, despite my body's protests. Everything hurts from labor, but I can't just lie there when my baby needs me. I've got him, Dax insists. You rest. He's hungry, I can tell. Adrian's cries intensify, proving my point. Dax brings him to me, and I fumble through nursing again, still getting the hang of it despite the lactation consultant's visit yesterday. Eventually, Adrian latches, and blessed silence fills the room. You're a natural, Dax says, watching us. I'm a mess who barely knows what she's doing. That's what natural means, figuring it out as you go. He sits beside me on the bed. You're doing great, Remy. Better than great. There's a soft knock at the door. Catherine peeks in. I brought breakfast, and I can take Adrian for a bit if you want to shower. The offer is tempting. I feel gross from labor, exhaustion, and repeated baby spit-up. Are you sure? I ask as Adrian finishes eating. He's been fussy. I raised you, Catherine says with a smile. I can handle one fussy baby. Go clean up. Take your time. Dax practically pushes me toward the bathroom. Shower. Actual shower with hot water and that fancy soap Eleanor stocked. I'll help your mom with Adrian. The shower is heaven. 20 minutes of hot water and silence and not being responsible for keeping a tiny human alive. By the time I emerge, feeling almost human, I hear voices from the bedroom. Definitely has Alexander's stubborn streak already, Catherine is saying. Look at that grip. And Remy's nose, Dax adds. Thank God, my nose is too prominent. Your nose is distinguished. That's Eleanor's voice. When did she arrive? The boy is well proportioned. Good bone structure. He'll be handsome. He's 2 days old, I say, entering in my robe. Can we not plan his modeling career yet? Eleanor looks at me critically. You look better. Less like you're about to collapse. Thanks, I think. She moves to the bassinet where Adrian is sleeping again. He's strong. I can feel his alpha presence already. Most newborns don't manifest any power signature, but this one. She trails off, looking at me. The prophecy chose well. The words sit heavy in the air. He's just a baby, I say quietly. Can we let him be just a baby before we start talking about prophecies and destinies? Of course, Catherine says quickly. Eleanor, maybe we should. No, she's right to mention it. I move to the bassinet, looking down at my sleeping son. He is the prophesied alpha, I know that. But right now, he's my son first. I need him to just be Adrian for a while before he has to be anything else. Eleanor nods. But eventually, he'll grow into whatever he's meant to be, Dax interrupts, his alpha authority bleeding through. On his own timeline, not according to anyone else's expectations. Spoken like a true father, Eleanor says, but she's smiling. Very well, just Adrian for now. No prophecy discussions until at least, shall we say his first birthday? His 18th birthday, I counter. Compromise at 5? 10. Deal. Eleanor straightens. Now, you have visitors downstairs asking to see the baby. Alpha Sarah, Alpha David, Luna Victoria. Shall I send them away? I look at Dax, who shrugs. Your call. Part of me wants to send them away to hide in this room with my new family and not face pack politics. But another part knows I can't avoid this forever. Adrian is the prophesied alpha. People will want to see him, meet him, verify the prophecy is real. Give me 30 minutes to get dressed, I decide. Then they can come up, but only for a few minutes, and if Adrian gets fussy, they leave. I'll make it clear, Eleanor promises, sweeping out. Alpha Sarah arrives first, her expression soft when she sees Adrian sleeping in my arms. May I? She asks, and I nod, carefully transferring my son to her. She holds him with practiced ease, smiling down at him. He's beautiful, Remy. Congratulations. Thank you. And thank you for supporting me at the gathering. It meant a lot. I wasn't going to stand by and watch them bind you over fabricated charges. She looks up. The packs are talking about what happened. How you chose love over revolution. Some are calling it weakness, but most see it as wisdom. And what do you see? I see a Luna who understands that real change comes from building trust, not breaking systems. She hands Adrian back carefully. The prophecy said you'd unite the packs. Everyone assumed that meant conquest or revolution, but you're doing it differently, slowly. One mediation, one relationship at a time. I hope it's enough. It will be. She glances at Adrian, especially with him. An alpha raised by parents who value compassion as much as strength, that alone will change things. After she leaves, Alpha David visits briefly, offering similar congratulations and support. Then Luna Victoria, who studies Adrian with the sharp gaze of someone evaluating prophecy fulfillment. He has the markers, she says finally. Born under full moon to the prophesied Luna and a powerful alpha. Strong presence for a newborn. Yes, I believe this is the child Moira foretold. What does that mean, I ask? For him, for us? It means we watch and wait. Guide without controlling. The prophecy will unfold as it's meant to. She looks at me. But it also means protection. There will be those who fear what he represents. You'll need to be vigilant. As if I needed another reason to panic about keeping my baby safe. After the visitors leave, I'm exhausted again. Dax takes Adrian so I can rest, and I watch them together, my mate holding our son, talking to him in soft tones about absolutely nothing important. "You're going to love sports," Dax is saying. "We'll go to games, teach you to throw, and when you're older, I'll teach you about running the pack, about business, about treating people fairly. Your mom will teach you about compassion and mediation and how to see past surface conflicts to real solutions. Between us, you'll be unstoppable. Don't forget the stress-baking lessons," I murmur sleepily. Obviously. That's crucial life knowledge. He looks over at me. "Sleep, Remy. We've got this. We've got this," I echo. And somehow, despite everything, the prophecy, the expectations, the fear, I actually believe it. We're going to be okay. All three of us. That night, at 2 a.m. when Adrian wakes crying and I'm stumbling through another feeding, Dax brings me water and sits beside us in the dim light. "I was thinking," he says quietly, "about the prophecy, about what Sarah and Victoria said." I'm too tired for full sentences. They're right. Adrian is going to be powerful, important, but he's also just our son, and I refuse to let prophecies or pack expectations steal his childhood. His hand rests on Adrian's head, gentle and protective. He gets to be a kid first, learn and grow and make mistakes without the weight of destiny crushing him. Agreed. Adrian finishes eating, and I adjust him against my shoulder for burping. We protect him. Let him be Adrian before he has to be the prophesied alpha. Exactly. Dax kisses my forehead. We'll figure out how to balance it. The prophecy, the pack expectations, giving him a normal life. Whatever it takes. Together? Always together. Adrian burps loudly, then immediately falls back asleep. Dax takes him, settling him in the bassinet while I climb back into bed. As I drift off, I think about prophecies and destinies, and the tiny person sleeping nearby who's supposed to change everything. But mostly, I think about how much I love him already, how fiercely I'll protect him, and how somehow we're going to make this work. All of it. Because that's what families do. Adrian is 6 weeks old when I take my first mediation since his birth. "Are you sure you're ready?" Dax asks for the 100th time. He's holding Adrian, who's discovered his hands and is staring at them like they're the most fascinating things in the universe. "I'm sure. It's been 6 weeks. Dr. Vance cleared me, and it's just one mediation, Alpha Thomas and Alpha Sarah's hunting grounds dispute. I've dealt with worse. But you've never dealt with it while recovering from childbirth and running on 2 hours of sleep." He has a point. Adrian had a rough night, and I feel like I've been hit by a truck. But I need to do this, need to prove to myself that I'm still Luna Remy, not just Adrian's mother. "I'll be fine," I say, adjusting my outfit one more time. Professional, but nursing-friendly, a challenge Margaret and I solved with creative layering. "You'll be fine with him? We'll be perfect, won't we, Adrian?" Dax lifts our son to eye level. "We're going to have man time, talk about important things, like stock portfolios and property investments. He's 6 weeks old. Never too early to start his financial education." I kiss them both goodbye and head to the Wolfe Conference Center with Connor and Maya. The familiar drive helps me shift mentally from mother mode to Luna mode. Alpha Thomas and Alpha Sarah are already waiting when I arrive. Both look relieved to see me. "Luna Remy," Thomas says, standing, "thank you for making time. We know you just had a baby. I appreciate your patience." I take my seat, pulling out my notes. "Now let's discuss these hunting grounds. Alpha Thomas, you claim the disputed territory has been Mountain Peak land for generations?" We spend the next 2 hours going through territorial maps, historical records, and competing claims. It's complex but not unsolvable, mostly a misunderstanding about boundary markers that shifted during a storm 3 years ago. "What if we resurvey the boundaries using modern GPS?" I suggest. "Create clear, documented markers that won't shift. You can split the disputed section based on the original boundary line." Both alphas consider this. "That's fair," Sarah says finally, "as long as Mountain Peak acknowledges our access rights to the river on their side." "Done." Thomas agrees. "We'll formalize it with the council." They shake hands, and I feel the familiar satisfaction of a successful mediation. I'm still good at this, still capable of being more than just Adrian's mother. My phone buzzes as they're leaving. A text from Dax with a photo attached, Adrian asleep on his chest, both of them looking peaceful. "We're fine. Take your time." Love you. I smile, feeling the balance shift. Luna and mother. Both roles important, both parts of who I am. When I get home, I find Dax exactly where he was in the photo, on the couch with Adrian asleep on his chest, now surrounded by paperwork. Working while baby wearing? I ask. He wouldn't sleep unless I was holding him, so I adapted. He looks up. How was the mediation? Good, successful. They're filing the agreement with the council today. I sink onto the couch beside him, careful not to jostle Adrian. How was he? Perfect. Ate at 11, napped from noon to 2, had a diaper explosion that required a full outfit change. Standard baby activities. Diaper explosion and you survived? Barely. I may never emotionally recover. But he's smiling. There's something we should discuss, though. My stomach tightens. What? Luna Victoria called. The Luna Council wants to schedule your first quarterly evaluation. They're proposing next month. Right. The quarterly evaluations I agreed to. With everything that happened, Margaret's deception, Adrian's birth, I'd almost forgotten. Next month? Adrian will only be 10 weeks old. I know, I told them that might be too soon. Victoria said they'd consider pushing it to 3 months if you need more time. No. I shake my head. The agreement was quarterly evaluations. I won't give them ammunition to claim I'm avoiding oversight. I look at our sleeping son. We'll make it work. Your mom can watch Adrian during the evaluation. Remy. I can do this, Dax. Be a mother and a Luna. I have to do both. He studies me for a long moment. Okay, but if it gets to be too much, then I'll tell you. I promise. The next few weeks pass in a blur of feeding schedules, mediation requests, and sleepless nights. Adrian is growing fast, already 11 pounds according to his 2-month checkup. He's more alert now, tracking faces with his eyes, making small cooing sounds that Dax insists are attempts at communication. He's trying to say Dada, Dax claims one morning. That was a burp. It was a very purposeful burp, with intention. You're delusional from sleep deprivation. Maybe, but I maintain my position. I take 2 more mediations, both successful, both exhausting. The pack members are supportive but curious, asking about Adrian, congratulating me on the successful mating ceremony, treating me with a reverence that feels unearned. You're a legend, Marcus says when he stops by one afternoon. The Luna who gave birth during her mating ceremony, people are calling it a blessing from the moon goddess. People are dramatic. People are inspired. He watches Dax attempt to give Adrian a bottle, while simultaneously on a conference call, muted. You've shown them it's possible to be powerful and have a family. That's important, Remy. Maybe. But I'm too tired to think about symbolic importance. I just want to keep my baby alive and fed and maybe sleep for more than 2 hours at a time. The quarterly evaluation looms. Luna Victoria schedules it for a Friday morning, 3 months after my initial evaluation. I spend the week before practicing with Lorraine, demonstrating my control while simultaneously dealing with new mother exhaustion. You're doing well, Lorraine says after I successfully project calm to 5 wolves while holding Adrian, who decided to attend our practice session. Better than well. Motherhood hasn't diminished your abilities at all. Motherhood has destroyed my sleep schedule and my ability to complete thoughts, but sure, my Luna powers are fine. She laughs. Welcome to being a working mother. It gets easier. When? I'll let you know when I figure that out. My youngest is 17 and I'm still waiting. The evaluation day arrives too quickly. Catherine takes Adrian for the morning, promising to bring him if I need him. Dax insists on coming despite Luna Victoria's suggestion that I attend alone. I'm her mate, he tells Victoria when we arrive. Where she goes, I go. Alpha Wolfe is not negotiable on this point, he finishes. Evaluate her abilities with me present or reschedule. Victoria sighs, but allows it. The evaluation is similar to the first, demonstrations of control, power measurements, questions about my recent mediations. But this time, there's an additional component. We need to assess how motherhood has affected your Luna abilities, Luna Diana explains. Some Lunas experience power fluctuations after giving birth. We need to ensure you're still capable of maintaining control under stress. I've taken 3 mediations in the past 6 weeks, I point out. All successful. Yes, but those were relatively simple disputes. We need to test your response to higher stress scenarios. They run me through increasingly difficult exercises, projecting power while distracted, maintaining control under simulated attack conditions, managing multiple wolves simultaneously while problem-solving complex scenarios. By the end, I'm exhausted and irritable. Adrian needs to feed soon, and my body is reminding me of that fact insistently. Satisfactory, Luna Victoria announces finally. Your control remains excellent. Power levels unchanged from your initial evaluation. We have no concerns about your continued Luna status. Relief floods through me. So I'm cleared for another 3 months? Cleared indefinitely, actually. Luna Morrison speaks up. The council has discussed your case. Your performance over the past 3 months, managing motherhood while continuing your Luna duties, maintaining perfect control even under stress, has demonstrated conclusively that you can handle your power responsibly. We're reducing your evaluation schedule to annually instead of quarterly. I stare at her. Really? You've proven yourself, Luna Remy, Luna Chen adds with a smile. More than proven yourself. Continue your training with Lorraine, continue your mediations, and we'll check in next year, barring any concerns, of course. Of course, I echo, still processing. Dax's hand finds mine, squeezing. I can feel his relief and pride through our bond. Thank you, I manage, for believing in me. Thank yourself, Luna Victoria says. You did the work. We just acknowledged it. That afternoon, back at the penthouse with Adrian fed and sleeping, I finally let myself feel it. The validation, the relief, the sense that maybe I really can do this. You did it, Dax says, pulling me close on the couch. Proved them all wrong. Again. I just did what needed to be done. Exactly, which is what makes you extraordinary. He kisses me softly. Most people can't balance the kind of power you have with the kind of life you're building. But you make it look easy. It's not easy, it's exhausting. But you're doing it. Every day you're doing it. His hand rests on my knee. I'm so proud of you, Remy, for everything you are. Adrian wakes up with a cry, demanding attention. I start to get up, but Dax waves me off. Tess, I've got him. You rest. I watch him lift our son, talking to him in soft tones about his day, about how strong and amazing his mother is, about how lucky they are. And I think about Margaret's words, that I was wasting my potential on domesticity and love. But this isn't wasted. This is everything. Building a family while using my power to help others, mediating disputes while raising a child, being a Luna and a mother and a mate all at once. It's messy and hard and exhausting, but it's real. It's mine. It's us. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Not for revolution, not for easier paths, not for anything. Hey, Dax says, noticing my expression. What are you thinking about? How much I love you both, I say honestly, and how glad I am that I chose this. Best choice you ever made, he agrees. Second best, I correct. First best was agreeing to that fake mate contract. That was pretty smart of you. Adrian chooses that moment to spit up on Dax's shirt again. Though some days, Dax says, looking down at the mess, I question all our life choices. I laugh until I cry, and it feels perfect. All of it. This chaotic, messy, beautiful life we're building. One day at a time. Adrian is 8 months old when the first real crisis hits. It's a Tuesday morning. I'm in the kitchen making coffee. Desperately needed since Adrian decided 4 a.m. was an acceptable wake-up time, when my phone rings. Alexander. Dad? Everything okay? Turn on the news. Channel 7, now. I grab the remote, switching on the TV mounted in the kitchen. The morning news is showing footage of what looks like a pack gathering gone violent. Wolves in shifted form fighting, property destroyed, people injured. What am I looking at, I ask as Dax appears, drawn by the TV noise. Silver Lake and Iron Mountain territories, Alexander says grimly. Alpha Marcus and Alpha Richard. The hunting rights dispute we thought was settled? It wasn't. It escalated overnight into this. The footage is brutal. At least a dozen wolves injured, territory borders destroyed, and from what the reporter is saying, 3 pack members in critical condition. I thought they signed an agreement 6 months ago, I say, remembering the mediation. They did, but apparently neither side actually honored it. They've been violating each other's territory for months, building resentment, and last night it exploded. Alexander pauses. Luna Victoria is calling an emergency council meeting. They want you there. My stomach drops. When? 2 hours. Can you make it? I look at Dax, who's already, I can make it. After I hang up, Dax is on his phone coordinating childcare. Eleanor can take Adrian. I'm coming with you. You don't have to. Yes, I do. His eyes meet mine. This is serious, Remy. Multiple casualties, territories at war. You're going to need support. He's right. This isn't a simple mediation. This is a full pack conflict, and I'm about to walk into the middle of it. The emergency council meeting is tense. All 9 Luna Council members present, plus representatives from Silver Lake and Iron Mountain, though notably not the Alphas themselves. Alpha Marcus and Alpha Richard are refusing mediation, Luna Victoria explains. They claim the other side violated their agreement first. Both are demanding justice from the council. What kind of justice, I ask? Territory redistribution, financial compensation. In Alpha Richard's case, expulsion of Alpha Marcus from his position. Luna Diana's expression is grave. This has gone beyond a simple dispute, Luna Remy. This is 2 packs on the brink of war. And they want me to fix it. We want you to try. You mediated their original agreement. Perhaps you can make them see reason. They didn't honor the original agreement. Why would they honor a new one? Because the alternative is formal pack war, which means the council gets involved with sanctions and potential dissolution of both packs. Luna Victoria leans forward. Make them understand the consequences if they don't find peace. No pressure. I spend the next hour reviewing the original agreement, the reported violations, and the casualty reports from last night's fighting. 3 wolves in critical condition, another dozen injured, property damage in the hundreds of thousands, all because 2 alphas couldn't honor a simple hunting rights agreement. I need to meet with them, I decide. Both alphas. Separately first, then together. Alpha Marcus has agreed to meet. Alpha Richard is refusing. Luna Chen looks frustrated. He claims you're biased toward Silver Lake because you mediated in their favor. I mediated neutrally. They both agreed to the terms. He's looking for excuses to avoid accountability. Luna Morrison sighs, but we can't force him to meet with you. Yes, you can. Dax speaks up from where he's been silently observing. Make it a council order. Either he meets with Luna Remy or he faces sanctions for refusing council-mandated mediation. The council members exchange glances. That's aggressive, Luna Diana says. So is pack warfare, Dax counters. 3 wolves are in critical condition. If Richard is allowed to refuse mediation, what message does that send? That alphas can ignore agreements and council authority when it suits them? He has a point, Luna Victoria admits. We'll issue the order. Alpha Richard will meet with Luna Remy by end of day tomorrow, or face immediate sanctions. I meet Alpha Marcus first that evening at the Wolfe Conference Center. He looks haggard, dark circles under his eyes, tension in every line of his body. Luna Remy, he says tiredly. I suppose you've seen the news. I have. What happened, Marcus? You signed an agreement. Both of you agreed to the territorial boundaries. We did, and I honored them. But Richard's wolves kept crossing into our territory, poaching our game. We documented it, reported it to the council, got no response. After 6 months of violations, my wolves took matters into their own hands. By attacking Iron Mountain wolves, by defending our territory. His voice hardens. What was I supposed to do? Let them steal from us indefinitely? You were supposed to come back to me for mediation, or go to the council with your documentation, not start a war. The council didn't respond to 3 formal complaints. What good would coming to you have done? I don't have a good answer for that. If the council ignored his complaints, I can understand his frustration. What do you want, I ask? What would it take for you to stand down? Richard's formal acknowledgement that his pack violated our agreement, financial compensation for the damages and stolen game, and guaranteed enforcement this time, not another paper agreement he'll ignore. That's reasonable. I'll present it to Richard tomorrow. He won't agree. He's convinced he's in the right, that we're the aggressors. Marcus stands. I don't want war, Luna Remy, but I won't let my pack be victimized either. If Richard won't make this right, we'll defend ourselves by any means necessary. That night, I barely sleep. Adrian senses my stress and fusses more than usual. By the time morning comes, I'm exhausted and dreading the meeting with Alpha Richard. He arrives at the conference center with 3 bodyguards, all radiating hostility. Richard himself is a large man in his 50s, with iron-gray hair and cold eyes. Luna Remy, he says, barely civil. The council said I had to meet with you, so here I am. But I won't be lectured by a child about matters you don't understand. I'm 25 and a new mother running on 3 hours of sleep. I don't have patience for this. I understand that 3 wolves are in critical condition and both territories have sustained massive damage, I say flatly. I understand that you and Alpha Marcus signed an agreement 6 months ago that you're both claiming the other violated, and I understand that if we don't resolve this, the Council will dissolve both your packs and redistribute your territories. Is that understanding enough for you? His eyes narrow. Are you threatening me? I'm explaining consequences. Pack warfare violates Council law. You know this. Silver Lake violated our agreement first. Alpha Marcus claims you violated first. He has documentation of your wolves crossing his boundaries. Fabricated documentation. His wolves attacked mine unprovoked, and now he's trying to justify it. So you deny all violations? I deny that we started this. If Marcus's wolves stayed on their side of the boundary, none of this would have happened. We go in circles for an hour. Richard refuses to acknowledge any wrongdoing, refuses to consider compensation, refuses everything except his position that Silver Lake is entirely at fault. What would it take for you to make peace? I finally ask, frustrated. Alpha Marcus's formal apology, compensation for our injured wolves, and expanded territory to create a buffer zone between our packs. Expanded territory from where? Silver Lake land? That's the only border we share. So you want Marcus to apologize and give you his land? I want what's fair. That's not fair. That's conquest disguised as mediation. His face darkens. Watch your tone, Luna. Prophecy or not, you're still young and inexperienced. Don't presume to tell me what's fair. Dax, who's been sitting silently against the wall, stands abruptly. His alpha power floods the room, making even Richard's bodyguards flinch. You will not speak to my mate that way, Dax says, his voice deadly quiet. Luna Remy is trying to save your pack from dissolution. Show some respect. I don't take orders from, you do now. Dax moves to stand beside my chair. Luna Remy asked you a fair question. Answer it respectfully or this meeting is over. The room crackles with tension. Richard glares at Dax, then at me. Fine, he says through clenched teeth. I want acknowledgement that my pack was wronged, compensation that reflects our losses, and assurance that Silver Lake won't violate our borders again. Those are reasonable requests, I say carefully. I can bring them to Alpha Marcus, but you need to be willing to compromise too. Acknowledge that your wolves may have contributed to the escalation. Consider neutral oversight of the boundaries to prevent future disputes. I won't admit fault when we're not at fault. Then we're at an impasse. I stand, exhausted and frustrated. I'll report to the Council that mediation has failed. They'll proceed with sanctions against both packs. You can't. I can, because you're leaving me no choice. I gather my notes. I tried, Alpha Richard, but I can't mediate when one party refuses to engage in good faith. I walk out, Dax following closely. Once we're in the hallway, I lean against the wall, closing my eyes. That went well, I say sarcastically. He's impossible. The Council will back your assessment. 3 wolves are in critical condition, Dax. Packs are on the brink of war, and I can't fix it. Because Richard won't let you. His hand cups my face. This isn't your failure, Remy. Some conflicts can't be mediated when one party won't negotiate. Then what do I tell the Council? That I give up. You tell them the truth, that you attempted mediation in good faith, but Alpha Richard refused to compromise. The Council will have to take stronger action. The Council meeting that afternoon is grim. I present my findings, Alpha Marcus's willingness to negotiate versus Alpha Richard's absolute refusal. I recommend formal sanctions against Iron Mountain for refusing mediation, I conclude, and oversight of Silver Lake to ensure they honor any future agreements. Both packs need neutral monitors on their borders. Strong recommendation, Luna Victoria notes, but given the circumstances, probably necessary. She looks at the other council members. All in favor? 8 hands rise, only Luna Frost abstains. Sanctions are approved. We'll also be assigning council peacekeepers to both territories until this is resolved. Luna Victoria looks at me. You did what you could, Luna Remy. Some conflicts are beyond even your abilities. The words should be comforting, but all I can think about are those 3 wolves in critical condition. 3 wolves I failed to save. That night, I hold Adrian close while he sleeps, breathing in his baby scent and trying not to cry. I couldn't fix it, I tell Dax. People are hurt because I couldn't make them see reason. People are hurt because two alphas are stubborn and prideful, he corrects. You gave them every opportunity to find peace. They chose conflict. What if more wolves die? What if this escalates? Then the council will handle it. But that's not on you, Remy. You can't force people to choose peace. The prophecy said I'd unite the packs, and you are. 4 successful mediations, peaceful relations with dozens of territories. This one failure doesn't erase all that. I want to believe him, but right now all I can see is my inadequacy. The prophecy promised unity. Instead, I'm watching packs tear each other apart. And I don't know how to stop it. 2 days after the failed mediation, one of the critically injured wolves dies. His name was Jacob, 23 years old, Silver Lake Pack. He was protecting his territory when Iron Mountain wolves attacked, and he took a fatal blow to the chest. I find out from Luna Victoria's phone call at 7 a.m., just as I'm feeding Adrian his morning bottle. I wanted you to hear it from me, she says gently, before the news reports it. I know you'll blame yourself, but Luna, Remy, this isn't your fault. But it feels like my fault. I couldn't make them negotiate, couldn't find the compromise that would have prevented this. His family? I ask, my voice hollow. Being notified now. Alpha Marcus is arranging pack funeral rites. She pauses. The council peacekeepers arrived in both territories last night. We're imposing mandatory separation. No wolf from either pack crosses the boundary for any reason until further notice. And if they do? Immediate banishment from their pack. We're done being lenient. After we hang up, I sit there holding Adrian, feeling the weight of failure crush down on me. Hey. Dax appears, freshly showered and ready for a day at the office. He stops when he sees my face. What happened? One of the injured wolves died. Jacob, from Silver Lake. My voice cracks. He was 23, Dax, barely older than me. Dax takes Adrian from my arms and sets him in his bouncy chair, then pulls me up and into his embrace. I should have tried harder, I whisper against his chest. Found a way to make them listen. You did everything you could. You met with both alphas, offered compromises. They refused to negotiate. Then I should have, I don't know, used my Luna power to force them to see reason? Made them feel what their stubbornness was costing? That would be exactly what the conservative bloc feared. His hands frame my face, forcing me to look at him. Using your power to manipulate alphas against their will, you'd be proving them right. Better that than a dead wolf. No. His voice is firm. You can't sacrifice your principles every time something goes wrong. You're a mediator, not a dictator. You help people find peace when they're willing to look for it. But you can't force peace on people who choose war. Then, what good am I? The question bursts out. What good is all this power if I can't actually stop wolves from killing each other? You've stopped 4 other disputes from escalating. You've helped dozens of packs find peaceful solutions. One failure doesn't erase all that success. Tell that to Jacob's family. Dax doesn't have an answer for that. I attend Jacob's funeral 3 days later. It's held at the Silver Lake territory, and the grief is palpable. His mother sobs throughout the ceremony. His father stands stone-faced, radiating rage and loss. Alpha Marcus delivers the eulogy, his voice rough with emotion. Jacob was brave, loyal. He died defending his pack, his home, his family. We will honor his sacrifice by ensuring his death wasn't in vain. We will find justice. The words sound like a promise of more violence. After the ceremony, I approach Jacob's parents. It's the right thing to do, even though every instinct screams to run. Mr. and Mrs. Chen, I say quietly, I'm so sorry for your loss. His mother looks at me with red-rimmed eyes. You're the Luna who tried to mediate. I am. I failed. I'm sorry. It's not your fault, his father says, surprising me. You tried. Alpha Richard refused to listen. The blame is his, not yours. I should have found a way. There was no way. His mother touches my arm. Richard wanted war. Some people can't be reasoned with, no matter how powerful the mediator. She glances at Adrian, who Dax is holding a respectful distance away. Your baby? Yes, Adrian. He's 8 months old. Treasure every moment. Her voice breaks. You never know how much time you have. The words haunt me for days. A week after the funeral, Luna Victoria calls with an update. The council has voted to impose severe sanctions on Iron Mountain. Alpha Richard is being removed from his position pending investigation. We're appointing a temporary Alpha to oversee the territory until we determine if he can be reinstated. And Silver Lake? Alpha Marcus receives a formal reprimand for allowing the situation to escalate to violence, but he keeps his position. The evidence suggests Iron Mountain violated the original agreement first. She pauses. We're also implementing mandatory border monitoring for all disputed territories going forward. Neutral council observers who report violations immediately. So this won't happen again. That's the goal. But Luna Remy. Her voice softens. I know you're taking this hard. I can hear it in your voice. But you need to understand, some conflicts were already too far gone before you got involved. This started months before your mediation, with violations and resentments that ran deep. You gave them a chance at peace. They chose differently. A wolf is dead because I couldn't make them choose peace. A wolf is dead because two alphas prioritized pride over pack welfare. That's on them, not you. Intellectually, I know she's right. Emotionally, I can't shake the guilt. That night, I can't sleep. I pace the penthouse while Dax watches with concern and Adrian sleeps peacefully in his crib, unaware of his mother's crisis of faith. Talk to me, Dax finally says around 2 a.m. Tell me what you're thinking. I'm thinking Margaret was right. The words taste bitter. I'm wasting my potential. If I'd been more forceful, more willing to use my power, Jacob might still be alive. Or you'd be exactly what the conservative bloc feared, a Luna who forces her will on alphas. At least that Luna could have saved him. Could you? Dax stands, moving to where I've stopped by the window. Really? Use your power to force two alphas to negotiate against their will? Build a peace on manipulation and coercion? How long would that peace have lasted? A week? A month? Until they resented being controlled and the war started again, but worse? I don't answer because I don't know. You've been operating under a fundamental assumption, Dax continues, that your role as the prophesied Luna is to prevent all violence, solve all conflicts, unite all packs through sheer force of will and power. But what if that's not what the prophecy meant? What else could it mean? Unite doesn't mean control, it means bring together. You've been doing that, showing packs there's a better way through mediation, through building relationships, through choosing cooperation over conflict. Some packs are ready for that message, others aren't. His hands settle on my shoulders. You can't save everyone, Remy. You can only offer them the path. They have to choose to walk it. That feels like a cop-out. It's reality. You're not a god. You're a Luna with extraordinary gifts, but you're still one person. You can't force the entire pack system to evolve overnight. I lean back against him, exhausted. I just feel so powerless. What good is all this prophesied ability if I can't actually change anything? You've changed everything. 4 successful mediations, dozens of packs watching your example, the council implementing new oversight procedures because of this conflict. You're shifting the whole system toward accountability and peaceful resolution. He turns me to face him. Change is slow, Remy. Incremental. You won't see all the effects in your lifetime, but you're planting seeds that will grow for generations. Poetic, but Jacob is still dead. Jacob is dead because Alpha Richard chose pride over peace. Because 2 alphas let a territorial dispute escalate beyond reason. Because sometimes, despite everyone's best efforts, people die. His eyes are intense. You're not responsible for every wolf in North America. You're responsible for doing your best, using your gifts wisely, and teaching our son to do the same. That's all anyone can ask. What if my best isn't enough? Then it isn't, but it's still your best, and that matters. The next morning, I call Alpha Marcus. Luna Remy, he answers, sounding tired. I wasn't expecting to hear from you. I wanted to check in, see how your pack is handling everything. We're grieving, angry, but the council peacekeepers are helping. Having neutral oversight means we can trust the boundaries are being enforced. He pauses. Jacob's family wanted me to thank you. For what? I failed to prevent his death. For trying, for caring enough to attend his funeral, for treating him like he mattered, not just a casualty in a political dispute. His voice roughens. They appreciated that, Remy. So did I. After we hang up, I feel something shift inside me. Not absolution. I'll probably carry the guilt of this failure for a long time. But maybe acceptance. That I can't save everyone. that some conflicts are beyond even my abilities, that all I can do is keep trying, keep offering the path toward peace, and trust that some will choose to walk it. Better? Dax asks, watching from the kitchen where he's making breakfast one-handed while holding Adrian. Not better, but less broken. I'll take it. He hands me coffee and Adrian simultaneously. Now eat something. You've barely touched food in days. I take my son, breathing in his baby scent. He grabs my nose with surprising strength, grinning his gummy smile. Your mom had a rough week, I tell him softly. But we're going to be okay. We're going to keep trying to make things better, even when it's hard. Adrian babbles something that might be agreement or might be a demand for food. Either way, life goes on. The failures hurt, the losses ache, but there's still work to do, still mediations to conduct, still a son to raise, still a prophecy to fulfill, one imperfect day at a time. And maybe that's enough. Maybe it has to be. Adrian's first birthday party is chaos in the best possible way. The Moonhaven Estate Gardens are full of people, pack members, family, friends, and approximately a dozen toddlers running around with the single-minded energy of tiny tornadoes. Adrian is in his element, crawling at impressive speed while chasing after Marcus and Sarah's youngest. He's fast, Catherine observes, watching her grandson navigate the grass with determination. Alexander, do you see this? I see our heir destroying the flower beds, Alexander says, but he's smiling. Should we intervene? Let him explore, I say, keeping one eye on Adrian while simultaneously greeting guests. He's having fun. Dax appears with cake plates, looking harried. Eleanor has very strong opinions about cake placement. I've been informed I'm doing it wrong. You're putting the cake on a table. How can that be wrong? According to Eleanor, there's an optimal angle for photographs, something about lighting and background aesthetics. He sets the plates down with exaggerated care. I'm a billionaire CEO, and I'm being micromanaged about cake placement. Welcome to party planning with my grandmother, I say, kissing him. You're doing great. Adrian chooses that moment to pull himself up on a chair and immediately try to climb onto the table where gifts are stacked. Dax lunges to catch him. No, buddy. Presents later. After cake. Dax hoists our son onto his hip. Adrian immediately grabs his father's face with both hands, babbling excitedly. Yes, very interesting. No, you can't eat the decorations. I watch them together and feel that familiar surge of overwhelming love. Adrian is walking now, well, toddling, and talking in small words. Dada and mama, and no, which is currently his favorite. He has Dax's dark hair and my green eyes, and a personality that's already distinctly his own. Curious, determined, surprisingly gentle with other babies despite his rough-and-tumble play style. Luna Remy. Alpha Sarah Chen approaches with a wrapped present. Happy birthday to the little Alpha. He's gotten so big. Tell me about it. He outgrows clothes every month. I accept the gift. Thank you for coming. Wouldn't miss it. Besides, I wanted to update you on the Silver Lake situation. The new border monitoring is working beautifully. No violations in 8 months. Relations with Iron Mountain are cautious but peaceful. 8 months since Jacob's death, the guilt has faded to a dull ache, but it's still there. And the new Alpha? How's she working out? Alpha Rebecca is excellent, much more reasonable than Richard. Sarah smiles. She actually requested mediation training from the council. Wants to learn conflict resolution so Iron Mountain never escalates like that again. That's good, really good. After Sarah leaves, Marcus appears with a beer and a knowing look. You've done 9 mediations this year, all successful. The council reports a 30% decrease in territorial disputes across North America. Pacts are starting to bring you conflicts before they escalate. One failure still haunts me. 1 failure out of 10 attempts. That's a 90% success rate, Remy. That's extraordinary. He watches Adrian, who's now being chased by 3 other toddlers in some game only they understand. And you're doing it while raising him. Balancing Luna duties with motherhood. You're basically a superhero. A very tired superhero who can't remember the last time she slept past 6 a.m. Still counts. Marcus clinks his beer against my water glass. To the prophesied Luna who's actually fulfilling the prophecy, 1 mediation at a time. Later, after cake has been devoured and presents opened, Adrian's favorite is a set of stacking blocks he immediately starts throwing. I find a quiet moment in the garden with Dax. 1 year, I say, leaning against him. He's been out in the world for a whole year. Best year of my life. Dax's arm wraps around my waist. Even with the sleep deprivation and the constant worry and the time he projectile vomited on me during the Sterling board meeting, that was objectively hilarious. Marcus has photographic evidence. I'll never live it down. But he's smiling. You know what I was thinking about? The prophecy, how everyone assumed you'd unite the packs through some dramatic revolution or conquest. But you're doing it by just being you. Mediating conflicts, showing alphas there's another way. Raising a son who'll grow up knowing cooperation matters as much as strength. Margaret would be disappointed. Margaret was wrong. He turns me to face him. You've changed more through quiet persistence than she ever could have through revolution. Packs trust you. Alphas respect you. The Luna Council considers you one of their most valuable assets. I still feel like I'm making it up as I go. Everyone is making it up as they go. You're just doing it better than most. He kisses me softly. I'm proud of you, Oatmeal. Endlessly proud. Adrian's shriek of laughter interrupts the moment. We look over to see him being lifted onto Alexander's shoulders, delighted by the new vantage point. Our son is going to be trouble, I observe. He's already trouble, but he's our trouble. That night, after guests have left and Adrian is finally asleep, exhausted from excitement, I stand in his nursery doorway watching him. 1 year old, healthy, happy, loved. The prophesied alpha who's supposed to be the most powerful in generations. But right now, he's just my baby, sleeping peacefully, clutching a stuffed wolf Eleanor gave him, completely unaware of the destiny everyone says awaits him. What are you thinking? Dax appears beside me, his voice low. That I want to protect him from all of it. The prophecy, the expectations, the weight of being special. I lean into Dax's side. I want him to just be Adrian, a kid who loves blocks and laughing and being thrown in the air by his grandfather. He will be. We'll make sure of it. Dax's hand finds mine. The prophecy can wait. Let him be a kid first. What if we're wrong? What if we should be preparing him now? For what? He's 1. The only thing he needs to prepare for is learning to use a spoon without flinging food everywhere. Dax turns me away from the nursery, guiding me toward our bedroom. We have years before we need to worry about alpha training and prophecy fulfillment. Right now, we just need to love him and let him grow. In our room, I change into pajamas while Dax checks his phone for work emails. Margaret sent a message, he says suddenly. I freeze. What? From European exile. It came through official channels to Luna Victoria, who forwarded it to me. He shows me the screen. The message is brief. I heard about your son's first birthday. Congratulations. Perhaps I was wrong about wasted potential. Time will tell. I stare at the words, feeling a complicated mix of emotions. Anger at what she put me through. Satisfaction that she's acknowledging I chose correctly. Exhaustion and still caring what she thinks. Delete it, I finally say. Already done. Dax sets the phone aside. She doesn't get to be part of our lives, even through messages. She's probably watching, though, waiting to see if the prophecy plays out her way or mine. Then let's make sure she's disappointed. He pulls me into bed, arranging us so I'm tucked against his chest. We'll raise Adrian with love and wisdom, teach him strength and compassion, and when he's ready, we'll tell him about the prophecy and let him decide what kind of alpha he wants to be. And if he doesn't want to be an alpha at all, then he doesn't have to be. Dax's voice is firm. The prophecy said he'd be powerful. It didn't say he had to use that power the way everyone expects. Just like you're fulfilling your prophecy your way, he can fulfill his however he chooses. I close my eyes, feeling the mate bond hum with contentment. When did you get so wise? Around the time I fell in love with a waitress who turned out to be a prophesied Luna. His lips brush my temple. You changed everything, Remy. Made me believe in something beyond power and control. Made me want to be better. You were always good, you just needed someone to see it. And you were always powerful, you just needed someone to believe in you. We fall asleep like that, wrapped around each other, secure in what we've built. At 3 a.m., Adrian wakes crying. I stumble to his room, expecting the usual bad dream, needs comfort, wants a bottle. But when I pick him up, his whole body is warm. Too warm. Dax. I call, trying not to panic. He's burning up. Dax appears instantly, touching Adrian's forehead with clinical assessment. Fever. Could just be from all the excitement today, or he's fighting off something. We spend the next hour taking his temperature, 102 degrees, giving him medicine, trying to cool him down. He's fussy and clingy, wanting to be held but also uncomfortable in any position. Should we call Dr. Vance? I ask, rocking Adrian while he whimpers against my chest. Let's see if the medicine brings the fever down first. If it's still high in an hour, we call. The hour passes slowly. I hold our son while he dozes fitfully, feeling his little body fight whatever infection has taken hold. Dax sits beside us, monitoring temperature and time, ready to act if needed. By 5 a.m., the fever breaks. Adrian's temperature drops to 100, then 99. He finally falls into deeper sleep, his breathing evening out. Crisis averted, Dax says quietly, but I can see the relief in his eyes. For now, but he's going to get sick, a lot. That's what kids do. I look down at Adrian's sleeping face. How do parents survive this, the constant worry? Same way we survive everything else, together, one crisis at a time. He strokes Adrian's hair. He's tough. He's got your stubbornness and my resilience. He'll be fine. Promise? Promise. As dawn breaks through the windows, I think about prophecies and destinies and the future everyone expects. But right now, in this moment, all that matters is my son sleeping peacefully in my arms. Healthy, safe, loved, everything else can wait. The prophecy will unfold in its own time. For now, we're just a family, and that's enough, more than enough. It's everything. Adrian is 18 months old when the second major crisis hits, and this time, it's personal. I'm in the middle of a mediation. Alpha Jennifer Black and Alpha Thomas from Mountain Peak, a water rights dispute. When my phone buzzes insistently, I ignore it. Then it buzzes again and again. Excuse me, I say, checking the screen. 15 missed calls from Dax, 3 from Eleanor, 2 from Alexander. My stomach drops. I need to take this. I step into the hallway, calling Dax back immediately. Where are you? His voice is tight with controlled panic. Wolfe Conference Center. The water rights mediation. What's wrong? Get home. Now. I'm sending Connor to get you. Dax, you're scaring me. What happened? Just come home. I'll explain when you're here. He hangs up before I can protest. I return to the mediation room, my hands shaking. I'm so sorry. Family emergency. Can we reschedule? Both alphas agree immediately, just concern written on their faces. Connor appears within minutes, driving me back to the penthouse in tense silence. Connor, what's going on? Alpha Wolfe will explain, Luna, which means it's bad enough that even Connor won't tell me. Dax is waiting when I burst through the penthouse door. So are Eleanor, Alexander, Catherine, and someone I don't recognize, a stern-looking woman in her 60s with silver hair and sharp eyes. Where's Adrian? I demand immediately. Safe, with Sarah and Marcus. Dax pulls me close. He's fine. This isn't about him. Then what? This is Luna Iris Morrison, the silver-haired woman interrupts. Luna Council Senior Investigator. I'm here regarding a formal complaint that's been filed against you. The words don't make sense. A complaint? For what? Abuse of Luna power. Specifically, using your abilities to influence pack politics for personal gain and to manipulate alphas into decisions that serve the Wolfe and Moonhaven interests. I stare at her. That's ridiculous. The complaint was filed by a coalition of 15 alphas, led by Alpha Richard of Iron Mountain. Alpha Richard, the one we removed from power after the Silver Lake conflict, of course. He's been building this for months, Eleanor says, her voice cold with fury. Quietly gathering support, convincing other alphas that you're a threat, that your mediations aren't neutral, they're strategic manipulations to consolidate power. But that's not true. I look at Dax. You know it's not true. Of course it's not true. His jaw is clenched. But Richard has been very convincing. He's compiled a list of your mediations, analyzing the outcomes, claiming patterns that favor Wolfe allies. What patterns? I mediate neutrally. The water rights settlement between Pacific Northwest territories, Luna Iris reads from a tablet. Both alphas involved have since formed trade agreements with Wolfe Enterprises, the hunting grounds dispute in the Southwest. Both packs now send members to training programs run by Moonhaven Security. The Eastern Territories conflict resolution resulted in 3 alphas joining your coalition for Luna Power oversight reform. Those are coincidences. Business deals and training programs have nothing to do with my mediations. Richard argues otherwise. He claims you use subtle Luna influence during mediations to push alphas toward decisions that benefit your family's political and economic interests. Luna Iris's expression is neutral. He's calling for a full investigation into every mediation you've conducted, and if evidence of manipulation is found, he's demanding your Luna power be bound and your authority revoked. The room spins. I grip Dax's arm to steady myself. This is revenge, Alexander says. Pure revenge because we removed him from power. Perhaps, Luna Iris acknowledges, but the complaint is formal and properly filed. The Luna Council is obligated to investigate. How long? Dax asks. 2 to 3 months. We'll review every mediation Luna Remy has conducted, interview all parties involved, analyze her power usage patterns. Luna Iris looks at me. During the investigation, you're required to cease all mediation activities. Any active disputes you're handling must be transferred to other mediators. You're suspending me? We're asking you to step back while we investigate. Standard procedure for complaints of this nature. Standard procedure for false accusations meant to destroy someone's reputation, Eleanor snaps. The council will determine if they're false. Luna Iris stands. Luna Remy, you'll be summoned for formal questioning within the week. I suggest you prepare documentation of your mediations, processes, decision trees, any evidence that supports your neutrality. After she leaves, I sink onto the couch, numb. This is bad, I hear myself say. This is really bad. It's manageable, Dax says, but I can hear the worry underneath. We'll gather evidence, prove your mediations were neutral, and the investigation will clear you. Will it, though? Richard has 15 alphas backing his complaint. That's 15 alphas who are willing to publicly claim I manipulated them. They're lying. But why would they lie? What do they have to gain? I look up at him. Unless Richard convinced them that I really did manipulate them, that my power is so subtle they didn't even notice. The horrifying thing about Luna power is that it's possible. I could theoretically influence decisions so subtly that even the alphas wouldn't realize it happened. I know I haven't done that. I've been scrupulously careful about using my power only to project calm or assess emotions, never to manipulate choices. But how do I prove a negative? How do I prove I didn't do something that leaves no physical evidence? We'll figure this out, Catherine says firmly. We'll review every mediation, document your processes, get testimony from alphas you've helped who aren't part of this coalition. And what about the mediations I'm currently handling? The disputes that need resolution? The council will assign other Lunas, Eleanor says. It's temporary, Remy, once you're cleared. If I'm cleared, if they decide Richard is right, I lose everything. My voice cracks. My Luna status, my mediations, possibly even my freedom to use my power at all. That won't happen, Dax says with absolute conviction. But I can see the fear in his eyes that mirrors my own. The next week is a nightmare of documentation and preparation. I review every mediation I've ever conducted, writing detailed reports about my process, my power usage, my reasoning. Marcus helps compile evidence of successful outcomes. Catherine coordinates with alphas who've benefited from my mediations to provide testimony. Adrian senses something is wrong. He's clingy, fussy, refusing to sleep unless I'm holding him, which I'm grateful for. Honestly, holding my son is one of the few things that keeps me grounded as my world falls apart. Mama sad? He asks one night, his small hand patting my face. Mama's okay, baby, just worried about grown-up things. No worry, Dada fix. His faith is absolute and heartbreaking. Yeah, buddy, Dada will fix it. But can he? Can anyone? The formal questioning happens on a Wednesday. I sit across from Luna Iris and 2 other council investigators in a sterile conference room, answering questions for 6 hours. Walk me through the Pacific Northwest water rights mediation. How did you assess each alpha's position? Did you use your Luna power during the Silver Lake Hunting Grounds dispute? How many alphas have subsequently formed business relationships with Wolfe Enterprises after your mediations? Can you explain why 3/4 of your successful mediations resulted in outcomes that align with Moonhaven political interests? The questions are relentless, designed to find inconsistencies or evidence of manipulation. I answer each one honestly, but I can see the investigators making notes, finding patterns I never intended. By the time it's over, I'm exhausted and terrified. When will you have a decision? I ask. The council will deliberate for approximately 6 weeks, Luna Iris says. We'll contact you when we're ready to present findings. 6 weeks of waiting, 6 weeks of not knowing if my entire life is about to be destroyed. That night, I finally break down. Adrian is asleep, the penthouse is quiet, and I'm sitting on the bathroom floor crying while Dax holds me. What if they find me guilty? I sob. What if Richard's convinced them that I've been manipulating everyone all along? Then we fight it. We appeal. We bring in expert witnesses. We do whatever it takes. I can't lose my power, Dax. It's part of who I am. And the mediations, they matter. I'm actually helping people, making a difference. I know. His arms tighten. I know, Oatmeal. And we're going to make sure the council knows it too. What if it's not enough? Then we deal with it. But I don't believe it will come to that. You've done nothing wrong. The investigation will prove it. I want to believe him. But I keep thinking about Jacob's death, about the one mediation that failed. If the investigation focuses on that, if Richard uses it as evidence that I'm not as effective as I claim, that my methods are flawed. Stop spiraling, Dax says gently. I can feel it through the bond. One failure out of 11 mediations doesn't make you incompetent. It makes you human. The prophesied Luna isn't supposed to be human, she's supposed to be perfect. Says who? The prophecy said you'd unite the packs. It didn't say you'd be infallible. As he pulls back to look at me. You're allowed to be human, Remy. To make mistakes, to have limits. That doesn't make you less worthy of your power. Tell that to the council. I will if I have to. We sit there on the bathroom floor until my tears dry and exhaustion takes over. Then Dax carries me to bed, holds me while I drift into fitful sleep, and promises me again that everything will be okay. I wish I could believe him. But right now, with my entire identity under investigation and 15 alphas claiming I manipulated them, belief feels impossible. All I can do is wait and hope that the truth is enough. 3 weeks into the investigation, Alpha Sarah Chen contacts me. I heard about Richard's complaint, she says over the phone. It's bullshit, Remy. Complete bullshit. Tell that to the Luna Council. I already did. I submitted testimony on your behalf. Detailed account of how you mediated our dispute, how you never once used your power inappropriately, how the outcome was fair to everyone involved. She pauses. But I wanted to warn you. Richard is being very strategic. He's not claiming you overtly manipulated anyone. He's arguing it was subtle, subconscious, that you projected emotions that nudged decisions without anyone realizing. My stomach sinks. That's almost impossible to disprove. I know, that's what makes it so dangerous. She hesitates. There's something else. The coalition isn't just Richard and his allies anymore. He's been recruiting alphas who are nervous about your power in general, playing on their fears about the prophecy, about what it means to have a Luna this powerful. How many? Last I heard, 23 alphas have signed on to the complaint, and growing. 23. Almost a quarter of the recognized alphas in North America. After we hang up, I sit there staring at nothing until Dax finds me. Sarah called, I tell him. 23 alphas now. Richard's turned this into a referendum on whether I should exist at all. Dax's expression darkens. Then we make this a referendum on whether alphas get to destroy someone out of fear instead of facts. How? We go on the offensive. Stop defending yourself against every accusation and start making them prove their claims. He pulls out his phone. I'm calling Marcus and your father. We're building a counter case. The next 2 weeks are a whirlwind of strategy sessions. Marcus compiles data on every alpha who signed the complaint, their territories, their politics, their relationships with Richard. A pattern emerges. Most are conservative alphas who opposed me from the beginning. Several have outstanding disputes with territories I've mediated. 3 have business conflicts with Wolfe Enterprises. They're not objective witnesses, Marcus argues. They're alphas with pre-existing biases and grievances using Richard's complaint as an excuse to attack you. Alexander works his political connections gathering testimonials from alphas I've helped. By the end of week 5, we have statements from 32 alphas praising my mediations and confirming I never manipulated them. Eleanor, meanwhile, digs into Richard's activities since his removal from Iron Mountain. He's been building this campaign for 8 months. she reports. Meeting with conservative alphas, sharing concerns about your power, planting seeds of doubt. This complaint isn't spontaneous, it's a calculated political attack. Can we prove that? I ask. We can show the pattern, timeline of his meetings, correlation with complaint signatures, evidence of coordination. Her eyes are sharp. He's not just seeking justice, he's seeking revenge and political power by positioning himself as the alpha brave enough to stand against the prophesied Luna. The pieces are coming together, but I still feel like we're fighting shadows. How do you defend against accusations of subconscious manipulation? Even alphas who support me can't definitively prove I didn't subtly influence them. They just trust that I didn't. Trust isn't evidence. On week 6, I'm summoned back to the Luna Council for final testimony before deliberations. The council chamber is packed. All 9 Luna Council members plus representatives from major PACs. Richard sits in the front row with his coalition, looking confident and self-righteous. Luna Victoria calls the session to order. We've completed our investigation into the complaint against Luna Remy Moonhaven Wolfe. We've reviewed documentation, interviewed involved parties, and analyzed patterns. Today, we'll hear final statements before deliberating. Alpha Richard, Luna Iris says, present your final argument. Richard stands, and I'm struck by how reasonable he sounds. Calm, rational, concerned rather than vindictive. Thank you, counsel. I want to be clear. I don't question Luna Remy's intentions. I believe she genuinely wants to help, but intention doesn't negate impact. He looks at me. The prophesied Luna possesses unprecedented power, power that, by her own admission, can influence emotions and decisions on a massive scale. Is it so unreasonable to suggest that even with the best intentions, such power might affect outcomes in ways she doesn't consciously recognize? It's a clever argument. He's not calling me malicious, just too powerful to control perfectly. We've documented 13 mediations, he continues. 11 resulted in outcomes that align remarkably well with Wolfe and Moonhaven interests. Trade agreements, political alliances, territory arrangements that benefit her family's positions. Perhaps coincidence, or perhaps subtle influence she doesn't even realize she's exerting. That's not evidence, I say before I can stop myself. That's speculation. Is it? Richard turns to face me fully. Can you prove you didn't influence those outcomes? Can any of us prove we made our decisions completely free from your power? The room goes silent, because he's right. I can't prove a negative. None of them can. That's the fundamental problem, Richard says. We're asking alphas to trust that someone with godlike power is using it responsibly. But trust isn't enough when the stakes are this high. If Luna Remy can subtly influence major PAC decisions without anyone noticing, what's to stop her from reshaping the entire political landscape to suit her family's interests? The fact that I haven't, I say, the fact that in 18 months as an active Luna, I've helped resolve disputes fairly, trained with council oversight and submitted to evaluations without complaint, the fact that 32 alphas have testified that I mediated neutrally and ethically. 32 alphas who may not realize they were influenced, Richard counters smoothly. That's the insidious nature of subtle manipulation. The victims don't know they're victims. Then how do you know you were manipulated? Dax's voice cuts through the chamber. He's standing now, his alpha power radiating. If the influence is so subtle no one can detect it, how did you detect it? I didn't detect it during the mediation, Richard admits. But reviewing the outcome later, analyzing the patterns, it became clear. It became clear that you lost your alpha position because you violated agreements and escalated conflicts that resulted in a death. Dax interrupts. And now you're using this complaint to rehabilitate your reputation by attacking my mate. Alpha Wolfe, Luna Victoria warns. This is exactly what it is, Dax continues, a political hit job disguised as legitimate concern. Alpha Richard has spent 8 months recruiting alphas who already feared or resented Remy, feeding them conspiracy theories about manipulation, building a case on speculation rather than evidence. Do you have proof of these allegations? Luna Iris asks. We have timelines showing Richard's meetings with complaint signatories before they joined. We have documentation of his political activities aimed at undermining confidence in Luna Remy. We have patterns showing that most signatories have pre-existing grievances. disputes with territories Remy mediated, business conflicts with Wolfe Enterprises, or histories of opposing her from the beginning. Dax pulls out a thick folder. This isn't about protecting pack autonomy. It's about eliminating a Luna who threatens the old power structures. Marcus stands. We've also analyzed the mediations themselves. Of the 13 Richard cites, 7 involved parties that are natural Wolfe allies, meaning those outcomes would have aligned with our interests regardless of influence. 3 involved completely neutral parties who gained no benefit from Wolfe connections. And 3, including the Silver Lake dispute, actually resulted in outcomes that went against our immediate interests. The Silver Lake mediation resulted in Richard's removal, Richard argues. How is that against Wolfe interests? Because it cost Remy emotionally, I say quietly. A Wolfe died. That mediation haunts me every day. If I were manipulating outcomes for personal gain, don't you think I'd have ensured a clean resolution that didn't result in death and trauma? The room is silent again, but this time it feels different. The investigation found no concrete evidence of manipulation, Luna Diana speaks up. No witnesses who report feeling coerced, no documentation of inappropriate power use. What we found is an exceptionally skilled mediator with strong ethics and careful power control. But we also found that proving definitively that no subtle influence occurred is impossible, Luna Frost counters. Alpha Richard is correct that Luna Remy's power makes absolute certainty difficult. So what's the solution? I ask, hearing my voice shake. Do I never use my abilities? Do we bind my power because proving I'm not secretly manipulating everyone is impossible? Where does that end? It ends with reasonable oversight and accountability, Luna Victoria says, which you've already agreed to through your evaluations and training. But Richard wants more than that, Eleanor speaks up from the gallery. He wants Luna Remy powerless because he's afraid of her, not because of anything she's done, but because of what she represents. Change, evolution of pack structures, a Luna who doesn't defer to alpha authority automatically. This is not about gender politics, Richard starts. Isn't it? Eleanor's voice is sharp. How many male alphas face complaints demanding proof they haven't subtly used their alpha command inappropriately? How many are required to prove they didn't unconsciously influence pack decisions? The silence is deafening. The double standard is obvious, Eleanor continues. Luna Remy is held to an impossible standard because she's powerful and female and prophesied. Any male alpha with equivalent power would be celebrated, not investigated. That's not fair, Richard protests. What's not fair is 23 alphas ganging up on one Luna because they're threatened by change, Alexander growls, standing beside Eleanor. My daughter has done nothing but serve the packs with integrity. This complaint is an insult to her service and to the prophecy itself. The chamber erupts into arguments. Alphas shouting, council members calling for order, the whole situation devolving into chaos. Luna Victoria bangs her gavel repeatedly. Enough. The council will deliberate in private, everyone out except council members. As we file out, Richard catches my arm. This isn't personal, Luna Remy. I genuinely believe your power is dangerous. No, I say quietly, pulling away. You believe I'm dangerous because I won't be controlled. There's a difference. Outside, Dax pulls me close while we wait. Adrian is with Catherine somewhere in the building, probably being spoiled with snacks and attention. However this goes, Dax murmurs against my hair, we'll deal with it. If they bind my power, then we fight it. Appeal, protest, whatever it takes, but I don't think it'll come to that. Why not? Because despite Richard's clever arguments, there's no actual evidence, just fear and speculation. And the council knows the difference. I hope he's right. An hour later, we're called back in. Luna Victoria stands, her expression unreadable. The council has reached a decision. My heart pounds so hard I can barely hear over it. After careful review of all evidence, we find insufficient proof of manipulation or abuse of power. Relief crashes through me so hard my knees buckle. Dax catches me. However, we also acknowledge Alpha Richard's concerns about the difficulty of detecting subtle influence. Therefore, Luna Remy will continue her current evaluation schedule and training protocols. Additionally, going forward, all mediations will include a neutral Luna observer to monitor for inappropriate power use. That's acceptable, I manage. As for this complaint, Luna Victoria looks at Richard. We find it was filed in good faith but based on speculation rather than evidence. However, the pattern of coordination and recruitment of complainants concerns us. Alpha Richard, you're warned against further attempts to undermine Luna Remy without concrete evidence. Any future complaints will be scrutinized for political motivation. Richard's face flushes, but he nods. Luna Remy, you're cleared to resume mediation activities immediately. It's over. Not perfectly, I'll have observers now, constant monitoring, ongoing scrutiny. But I'm cleared, I can keep my power, keep mediating, keep doing the work I love. As we leave the council chamber, Richard calls out one last time. This isn't over, Luna Remy. Sooner or later, you'll slip. And when you do, I'll be watching. I turn to face him, feeling the Luna power hum under my skin, but keeping it carefully contained. Watch all you want, I say. You'll be disappointed. Then I walk away with Dax at my side, toward where Catherine is waiting with Adrian. My son sees me and shrieks, "Mama," with pure joy, reaching for me with both hands. I take him, holding him close, and think about Richard's warning. Let him watch. Let them all watch. I have nothing to hide. And I'm done being afraid? Adrian is 4.5 years old the day he first manifests his alpha power. We're at the Moonhaven estate for a family gathering. Nothing formal, just pack members and relatives enjoying a summer afternoon. Adrian is playing with Marcus and Sarah's kids in the garden when I hear the commotion. Mama, Mama, come quick. I run from where I've been talking with Catherine, Dax right behind me. We find Adrian standing in the middle of a group of children, looking confused and a little scared. 3 of the other kids are frozen in place, completely still, their eyes wide. I didn't mean to. Adrian's lip trembles. They were being mean to Emma and I just wanted them to stop, and then... I look closer. The frozen children aren't physically frozen. They're responding to Alpha Command. Adrian's Alpha Command. He's 4.5. Most alphas don't manifest until puberty. It's okay, sweetie, I say, kneeling beside him. You didn't do anything wrong, but we need to release them, okay? Can you tell them they can move? How? Just think it. Picture them being able to move again, and tell them with your mind. Adrian screws up his face in concentration. You can move now. The 3 children gasp and stumble as the command releases. One starts crying. Emma, who Adrian was defending, hugs him. You saved me, she says. I didn't mean to freeze them, though, Adrian says, looking at me with those big green eyes, my eyes. Am I in trouble? No, baby, you're not in trouble. I pick him up despite the fact he's getting too big for it. But we need to talk about what just happened. Dax has already corralled the other children, explaining calmly that Adrian discovered a new ability and everything's fine. Marcus is handling their parents, who look alarmed. How is this possible? Eleanor asks once we're in her study with just family. Adrian sits on Dax's lap, subdued and worried. He's not even 5. The prophecy, Lorraine says. She was invited to the gathering and now looks fascinated. The most powerful alpha in generations. We knew he'd be strong, but manifesting this early. Is he in danger? I ask immediately. Can his body handle having this kind of power so young? We'll need to monitor him carefully, but physically he seems fine. Lorraine studies Adrian. Young alpha, do you feel sick? Does anything hurt? No, just scared. Adrian's voice is small. I didn't want to hurt anyone. You didn't hurt them, Dax assures him. You just made them be still for a minute, but it's a very powerful ability, Adrian. We'll need to teach you how to control it. Like how Mama learned to control her Luna power. Adrian looks at me. Exactly like that. I sit beside them, taking Adrian's hand. When I first discovered my power, I was scared too, but Lorraine helped me learn how to use it properly. She'll help you too. We'll start training immediately, Lorraine says. Gentle exercises appropriate for his age. Learning recognition, control, ethics. He's young, but if he's manifesting, he needs guidance. That night, after Adrian is asleep, exhausted from the day's emotions, Dax and I sit on our bedroom balcony overlooking the city. 4 years old, I say quietly. He's 4 years old and commanding other wolves. What does that mean for him? It means the prophecy wasn't exaggerating. Dax's hand finds mine. He really is going to be extraordinarily powerful. I wanted him to have a normal childhood, be just a kid for as long as possible. He can still have that. We just need to adapt our definition of normal. He pulls me against his side. We knew this was coming eventually. We'll handle it the same way we handle everything. Together, with love, protecting him while letting him grow. What if it's too much for him? Too much pressure, too much power, too much expectation. Then we'll be there to help carry it. Dax kisses my temple. He's not alone, Remy. He has us, his grandparents, Eleanor, an entire pack structure supporting him, and he has time to grow into his power before anyone expects him to use it for anything. Richard and his coalition will use this as ammunition. See how dangerous the prophesied bloodline is, a 4-year-old with alpha command. Let them try. After the investigation cleared you 3 years ago, Richard's influence has been waning. Most alphas see him for what he is, bitter and grasping for relevance. Dax's voice hardens slightly. And if anyone tries to use our son's abilities against him, they'll deal with me. I lean into him, drawing comfort from his certainty. You know what's funny? 3 years ago, I was terrified of that investigation. Thought it would destroy everything. But now I've done 17 successful mediations with Luna observers present, proving over and over that I don't manipulate. The oversight that was supposed to be punishment became validation. That's because you're brilliant and ethical and exactly what the prophecy predicted. He turns me to face him. You've changed the entire pack system, Remy. Mediations are standard practice now instead of rare occurrences. Territorial disputes are down 40%. 3 new regions have adopted your model of conflict resolution. You're doing exactly what you're meant to do. We're doing it. You, me, our families, all of us together. Together, he agrees. 6 months later, Adrian has his first formal alpha training session with Lorraine and a specialist in early manifestation abilities. I watch through the observation window as my 5-year-old son practices basic control exercises, learning to recognize when he's projecting alpha command, how to pull it back when it's appropriate to use. He's a natural, the specialist, an older alpha named Daniel who manifested at age 7, says beside me. His instincts are good. He used command to protect someone weaker, not to dominate or control. That suggests strong ethical foundations. We've been teaching him about using power responsibly since he could talk, I say, watching Adrian successfully complete an exercise. It shows. Most early manifestation alphas struggle with impulse control. They command because they can without thinking about consequences. But your son, Daniel smiles, he asks permission before practicing. He apologizes when he accidentally projects too strongly. He's remarkably conscientious for his age. Pride swells in my chest. He's a good kid. He's more than good. He's going to be extraordinary if he continues developing at this rate. Daniel trails off. Well, the prophecy wasn't wrong about his potential. After training, Adrian runs to me excited. Mama, did you see? I did the control exercise without freezing anyone. I saw, baby. You were amazing. I scoop him up. How do you feel? Tired, but good tired, like after swimming. He leans his head on my shoulder. Can we get ice cream? Absolutely. At the ice cream shop near our penthouse, our regular place, where the owner knows to have Adrian's favorite mint chip ready, we sit by the window watching the city bustle past. Mama? Adrian says through a mouthful of ice cream. Am I really going to be a super powerful alpha? That's what the prophecy says. But what if I don't want to be? What if I just want to be normal? My heart aches. He's 5 years old and already feeling the weight of destiny. Then you can be normal, I say firmly. The prophecy says you'll be powerful. It doesn't say you have to use that power in any specific way. You get to choose who you become, Adrian. But everyone expects me to be special. You're already special because you're you. The power is just a part of you, like your green eyes or your dad's stubbornness. I wipe ice cream off his chin. When you're older, you can decide what to do with your abilities. Maybe you'll be an alpha who leads packs. Maybe you'll use your power for something completely different. It's your choice. What if I make the wrong choice? Then you learn and make a different choice. That's what growing up is, figuring things out as you go. He considers this while eating more ice cream. Did you always know you wanted to be a Luna who helps people? No. When I first discovered my power, I was terrified. I thought maybe I should hide it, pretend to be normal. But then I realized I could use it to do good things, help people solve problems, make things better. I smooth his hair. You'll figure out your path too. and we'll support you whatever you choose. Even if I choose to be an ice cream taster instead of an alpha? Especially if you choose to be an ice cream taster, though you might want a backup plan since that's not a very stable career. He giggles, and the weight of prophecy lifts for a moment. He's just my son, eating ice cream, making silly jokes. That evening, tucking him into bed, Adrian asks one more question. Mama, are you scared about me being powerful? I consider lying, saying I'm not scared at all. But we've always been honest with him. Sometimes, I admit, not scared of you, but scared for you. Being powerful means people will expect things from you, try to use you, maybe even fear you. I worry about you facing those challenges. But you faced them and you're okay. I am, because I had people who loved me and supported me. Just like you have us. And Dada will beat up anyone who's mean to me. I laugh despite myself. That's not exactly the lesson we're teaching, but yes, your dad is very protective, and you'll teach me how to be good with my power, like you're good with yours. I'll try my best. Then I'm not scared. He yawns, already drifting. We're a family. We can do anything together. Out of the mouths of babes. Later that night, in our room, I tell Dax about the conversation. We can do anything together, he repeats, smiling. Smart kid. He gets that from you. He gets everything good from you. The stubbornness is all me, unfortunately. Dax pulls me into bed, but he's right. We've faced council investigations, pack wars, political attacks, early power manifestation, and we've handled all of it, together. Together, I echo, the word that's become our foundation. I think about the journey, from rejected, humiliated waitress to prophesied Luna, from one-night stand to true mates, from thinking I had no power to learning I had too much, then learning to use it wisely. The prophecy said I'd unite the packs. I'm doing that, one mediation at a time, one relationship at a time, not through revolution or conquest, but through showing there's a better way. And Adrian, the prophesied alpha who manifested at 4 and has a heart bigger than his power, he'll continue that work in his own way when he's ready. Maybe the prophecy was never about one grand moment of unification. Maybe it's about generations of work, building slowly towards something better. Margaret wanted revolution. Richard wanted the status quo. I chose evolution. And looking at my sleeping son through the baby monitor, at my mate beside me, at the life we've built and the work we're doing, I know I chose right. What are you thinking? Dax asks, reading my smile. That we did it, not perfectly, not easily, but we did it. Built a family, fulfilled the prophecy, proved everyone wrong about wasted potential. You did it, I just supported you. We did it together, that's the whole point. I snuggle closer. Think we can handle whatever comes next. We've handled everything so far. He kisses me softly. We've got this? Oatmeal. We've got this, I agree. And with the mate bond humming contentedly, our son sleeping peacefully down the hall, and the future stretching bright before us, I finally believe it completely. We've got this, all of it. Together. I'm not supposed to be working. Dr. Vance was very clear about that when she confirmed the pregnancy 2 weeks ago. You're 31 now, Remy? Second pregnancies can be more complicated. I want you taking it easy, especially in the first trimester. But taking it easy is relative when you're the prophesied Luna with a mediation schedule and a 5-year-old alpha in training. Mama, can we practice control exercises before school? Adrian appears in our bedroom doorway, already dressed in his kindergarten uniform. His dark hair sticks up in every direction despite my attempts to tame it last night. Come here first. I pat the bed beside me. He climbs up, and I work on his hair with practiced fingers. Did you brush your teeth? Yes. And I packed my lunch, and I remembered my homework. He's proud of himself. Am I getting better at remembering things? Much better. I kiss his forehead. And yes, we can do a quick control exercise, but just one. You have school in 30 minutes. We do a simple recognition drill. Adrian practicing sensing when he's about to project Alpha Command and pulling it back before it affects anyone. He's gotten much better over the past 6 months. His kindergarten teacher reports no accidental commanding of classmates in 3 weeks. Perfect, I tell him as we finish. You're doing so well, sweetheart. Lorraine says I might be able to start playing with other Alpha kids soon. Once I have better control. His face brightens. There's a kid in my class, Tommy, and I think he might be an Alpha too. He's really strong, and sometimes the other kids do what he says without asking. We'll talk to his parents, see if they want to set up a play date. I'm grateful for Lorraine's network of early manifestation families. Adrian needs friends who understand what he's going through. Dax appears with coffee for himself and herbal tea for me. I've had to give up caffeine again, much to my dismay. Ready for school, buddy? He asks Adrian. Ready. Oh, Mama, I forgot. Emma's mom wants to know if I can come to her birthday party next Saturday. Can I? Please? We'll check the calendar. I take the tea gratefully. Go get your backpack. Dad will drive you to school. After they leave, Adrian chattering excitedly about Emma's party and Tommy and his favorite subject, art, surprisingly. I have exactly 20 minutes of quiet before my first mediation of the day. Margaret appears with files and a knowing look. You're glowing. I'm nauseated and exhausted. That too, but definitely glowing. She sets the files on my desk. The Nevada Territory dispute. Both alphas are here and ready. Luna Chen will observe per protocol. Luna Chen has been my assigned observer for the past 3 years. We've developed a good working relationship. She's fair, thorough, and actually seems to enjoy watching mediations rather than treating observation as a punishment duty. Give me 5 minutes. I'll meet them in conference room A. The mediation goes smoothly, a water access dispute that's more about miscommunication than actual conflict. 2 hours later, both alphas have a signed agreement, and I have documentation that I conducted the entire session ethically and without manipulation. Another successful one, Luna Chen says as the alphas leave. You make this look easy. It's not easy, but it helps that most alphas genuinely want resolution. They just need someone to facilitate. I file the paperwork. How's your grandson? The one who manifested early? Struggling with impulse control. His parents are considering reaching out to you. I mentioned that Adrian is doing well with training. Happy to help. We've learned a lot in the past 6 months. I pause. Actually, I've been thinking about creating a support network for families with early manifestation children, resources, training recommendations, social opportunities for the kids. Luna Chen's eyes light up. That would be incredible. So many families feel isolated, like they're the only ones dealing with this. I know the feeling. I make a note to discuss it with Dax and Lorraine. Let me work out the logistics, but yes, I think it's needed. That evening, I'm helping Adrian with homework, kindergarten math, which is mostly counting and shapes, when my phone rings. Alexander. Dad, what's wrong? It's late for a casual call. Nothing's wrong. Actually, something's right for once. He sounds excited. The Continental Pack Alliance just voted. They want you to speak at the annual summit next month. The Continental Pack Alliance, basically the United Nations of North American werewolf packs. The annual summit brings together every major alpha, Luna, and pack leader to discuss policies, resolve disputes, and plan for the future. Speak about what? I ask carefully. Your mediation model. They want to discuss implementing it as official policy across all territories, making professional mediation a standard first step before any territorial disputes escalate. He pauses. Remy, they're talking about fundamentally changing how packs handle conflict, because of you. I sit down slowly, processing. That's huge. That's the prophecy being fulfilled. Alexander's voice is warm with pride. You're uniting the packs, sweetheart. Not through war or revolution, but by showing them a better way. Exactly like you said you would. After we hang up, I just sit there while Adrian colors beside me. Mama, you look funny. I'm just thinking, baby. I pull him close. Big things are happening. Good things. Like when you helped those alphas stop fighting today? Bigger than that. But yes, like that. When Dax gets home from the office, I tell him about the summit invitation. Of course they want you to speak, he says. Like it's obvious. You've revolutionized pack conflict resolution. The statistics don't lie. Territorial disputes are down 43% since you started mediating. Pack warfare has dropped to almost zero. You've saved lives in territories and probably billions in conflict costs. I just helped people talk to each other. You did so much more than that. He pulls me close. You showed alphas that strength isn't just about dominance. That real power is creating peace, not demanding it. That unity comes from cooperation, not conquest. I sound very evolved when you put it that way. You are evolved, that's the whole point. He kisses me softly. So when's the summit? Next month. But I need to tell you something. I take his hand, placing it on my stomach. I'm pregnant, about 8 weeks. His eyes go wide. You're we're again? Again. How long have you known? 2 weeks. I wanted to be sure before I said anything. Dr. Vance confirmed it yesterday. I watch his face cycle through shock, joy, concern, and back to joy. I know we weren't planning for another one yet, but this is perfect. He's grinning now, that rare, unguarded smile I only see in private. Adrian's gonna be a big brother. We're having another baby. Are you okay with this? With the timing? Are you kidding? This is the best news. He cups my face. Another little person who's half you and half me. How could I not be thrilled? It might be a girl this time. Even better. Adrian needs a little sister to protect. His hand stays on my stomach, though if she's anything like you, she'll probably end up protecting him. We tell Adrian at breakfast the next morning. You're going to be a big brother, I say, watching his face carefully. Mama has a baby growing in her belly. His eyes get huge. Like when you had me? Exactly like that. Is it a boy baby or a girl baby? We won't know for a few more months. Either way, you'll have a little brother or sister to play with. He considers this seriously. Will they have alpha power like me? Maybe. Or they might have Luna power like Mama, or both, or neither. We won't know until they're older. If they have alpha power, I can teach them control exercises. He's excited now. I'm really good at those. Lorraine says so. You are good at them. You'd be a great teacher. Can I name the baby? You can help us pick names, Dax says. But we'll all decide together. I want to name them Pizza. We're definitely not naming the baby Pizza. Dragon? Also no. We spend breakfast going through increasingly ridiculous name suggestions until Adrian dissolves into giggles and we're all laughing. I think, this is what the prophecy really meant. Not just uniting packs politically, but creating families that choose love over power, cooperation over dominance. Raising children who understand that strength includes gentleness, that power includes responsibility. Adrian will be an incredible alpha someday, not because the prophecy says so, but because he's learning empathy and control and how to use his abilities for good. And this new baby, whoever they turn out to be, will grow up in a world that's already better than the one I was born into. A world where mediation is normal, where Lunas are respected, where power is measured by how you help others, not how you dominate them. 3 weeks later, I'm standing backstage at the Continental Pack Alliance Summit, waiting to give my speech to 800 pack leaders. I'm 12 weeks pregnant now, starting to show just slightly. Morning sickness has been worse this time around. I threw up twice this morning, and I'm desperately hoping I can make it through this speech without needing a bathroom break. You're going to be brilliant, Dax says beside me. He insisted on coming despite having 3 board meetings he had to reschedule, just like you always are. What if they don't want to implement mediation protocols? What if they think I'm overstepping? Then they don't implement them. But you're not overstepping. They invited you to speak. They want to hear your ideas. Luna Victoria appears. 5 minutes, Luna Remy. The introduction is almost done. This is it. The moment to present everything I've learned, all the work I've done, to the leaders who can actually change policy across the continent. I love you, I tell Dax. I love you too. Now go change the world. Again. I walk onto the stage to thunderous applause. 800 faces looking at me. Alphas, Lunas, Betas, pack leaders from every territory. The prophesied Luna, about to propose how we rebuild the entire conflict resolution system. I think about the waitress I was 5 years ago, rejected and humiliated, thinking I was worthless. I think about the journey since then. One-night stand, pregnancy, fake mate contract, falling in love, facing council investigations, raising a prophesied alpha, and now pregnant with our second child while preparing to speak to the most powerful gathering in pack history. Margaret was wrong. This isn't wasted potential. This is the prophecy fulfilling itself through 1,000 small choices, 1,000 moments of choosing cooperation over conflict, love over power, evolution over revolution. I step up to the microphone, look out at the sea of faces, and begin. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. My name is Remy Moonhaven Wolfe, and 5 years ago I was a waitress who didn't know I was the prophesied Luna. Today, I'm here to talk about how we transform pack conflict resolution from reactive to proactive, from violent to peaceful, from divisive to unifying. The words flow, backed by statistics and case studies and personal experiences. I talk about successful mediations and the one failure that taught me the most. I talk about the importance of neutral observers and early intervention. I talk about training programs and support networks and creating a culture where asking for help is seen as strength, not weakness. And they listen. All 800 of them, leaning forward, taking notes, nodding in agreement. By the time I finish, 45 minutes later, the applause is deafening. Backstage, Dax pulls me close. "You did it. You actually did it." "We did it," I correct. "All of us. Everyone who believed this was possible." Luna Victoria finds us. "The Alliance Council wants to meet with you tomorrow. They're drafting formal protocols based on your recommendations. This is going to pass, Remy. Your mediation model is about to become continental policy." I should feel triumphant, vindicated, proven right. Instead, I just feel grateful. Grateful for the journey, for the people who supported me, for the mate who believed in me, for the son who reminds me every day what we're building this better world for. And for the baby growing inside me, who will inherit a pack system that's already evolving toward peace. The prophecy isn't finished. It might never be truly finished. But we're getting there, one mediation at a time, one family at a time, one generation at a time. Together, always together. The morning after my speech, I wake to find the pack media exploding with coverage. Luna Remy proposes revolutionary mediation protocols, reads one headline. Another, prophesied Luna's vision for pack unity gains continental support. And my personal favorite from a more conservative outlet, young Luna's ambitious plan too much too soon? At least they're consistent with the concerned trolling, I mutter, scrolling through my phone while trying not to jostle Dax, who's still asleep beside me. My phone buzzes. A text from Marcus. "Holy shit, Remy. You're trending on every pack platform. The Alliance Council meeting is moved up to this morning. They want to fast-track the protocols." Fast track. That's good, right? Or is it too fast? "Stop overthinking," Dax's voice rumbles. His eyes are still closed. "I can feel you spiraling through the bond." "I'm not spiraling, I'm processing." "You're spiraling." He cracks one eye open. "What time is the meeting?" 10. Which gives me 3 hours to prepare and also somehow deal with the nausea that's already starting. He sits up immediately. "I'll order breakfast, something bland, and ginger tea." My hero. The Alliance Council meeting room is intimidating. Massive circular table, representatives from every major pack coalition, enough political power concentrated in one space to reshape the continent. I'm seated between Luna Victoria and Alexander, with Dax in the observer section. Across from me sits a council I've only read about, 12 alphas and lunas who govern alliance policy, including several who've been vocal skeptics of my work. Luna Remy, Council Chair Alpha Morrison, begins. He's a distinguished man in his 60s, with silver hair and sharp eyes. "Your speech yesterday sparked considerable discussion. The Council has reviewed your proposed mediation protocols, and we have questions." "Of course, I'm happy to address any concerns." Concern number 1, a Luna named Patricia speaks up. She's from the Eastern Coalition, known for being conservative. Cost. Implementing continental mediation infrastructure, training mediators, establishing oversight, creating enforcement mechanisms, will require significant resources. Where do you propose that funding comes from? I pull out my tablet with the budget analysis Marcus and I prepared. Initial investment would come from Alliance Reserve Funds, approximately $2.3 million. However, cost analysis shows we'd recoup that within 18 months through reduced conflict expenses. The average territorial war costs between $5 and $12 million in damages, legal fees, and reconstruction. We're currently averaging 3 major conflicts per year. Preventing just one pays for the entire program. You're assuming the program prevents conflicts? Alpha Richard interjects. Of course he's here. What if mediations fail? What if alphas refuse to participate? Then we've lost nothing except the mediation attempt, and the conflict proceeds through existing channels. But data from the past 3 years shows 90% success rate for early intervention mediation. We're not replacing the existing system. We're adding a layer that catches disputes before they escalate. success rate with you mediating, Patricia points out. You're the prophesied Luna with unprecedented power. Other mediators won't have your abilities. True, but they'll have training, protocols, and oversight structures I didn't have when I started. My early mediation succeeded despite my inexperience because I followed basic principles: neutrality, emotional intelligence, creative problem solving. Those can be taught. We go back and forth for 2 hours. Every concern, every objection, every but about scenario, I answer each one, backed by data, case studies, and the experience of 30 successful mediations over 3 years. Finally, Alpha Morrison calls for a break. You're doing great, Dax says, finding me in the hallway. They're being tough, but I think they're actually considering it. Patricia hates it, and Richard's just looking for ways to undermine anything with my name attached. Patricia is being cautious, not hostile, and Richard's influence is minimal after the investigation cleared you. Focus on the ones who are actually listening: Morrison, Alpha Chen, Luna Rodriguez. They're genuinely interested. He's right. I can feel it through my Luna senses. Skepticism, yes, but also curiosity, hope, the possibility of something better. After the break, the tone shifts. Let's talk implementation, Alpha Morrison says. If we approve these protocols, what's the timeline? My heart jumps. That's not a rejection question. That's a planning question. Phase 1 would be pilot program, 5 regions, 6 months, fully funded and evaluated. If successful, Phase 2 expands to 15 regions over the next year. Phase 3 is full continental implementation with permanent funding and infrastructure. And training. How do we ensure mediator quality? Certification program through the Luna Council, combination of coursework, supervised practice mediations, and ongoing evaluation. I've already been consulting with Luna Victoria and Lorraine Wright on curriculum development. Luna Victoria nods confirmation. The framework is solid. We could launch training within 3 months of approval. Alpha Chen leans forward. I want to be clear about something. This isn't about Luna Remy being special or uniquely gifted. This is about creating a sustainable system that outlasts any one mediator. Correct? Absolutely correct, I say firmly. I'm just the proof of concept. The goal is to build something that works for generations, regardless of who's mediating. Then I motion to approve the pilot program, Alpha Chen says, with full evaluation protocols and predetermined success metrics. Seconded, Luna Rodriguez adds. Discussion? Alpha Morrison looks around the table. Richard raises his hand. I still have concerns about Luna Remy's involvement, given her controversial methods and the previous investigation. Is it wise to base continental policy on her model? The investigation cleared her completely, Luna Victoria says coldly, and her methods are only controversial to those who prefer the old system of violence and domination. Nevertheless, Alpha Morrison interrupts. Your concerns are noted, but they've been noted repeatedly and addressed extensively. Unless you have new evidence or arguments, we're moving to vote. Richard sits back, jaw clenched. All in favor of approving the pilot program? 10 hands rise. Only Richard and Patricia abstain. Motion passes. Luna Remy, congratulations. You'll be working with the Alliance Implementation Committee to launch the pilot program. We'll reconvene in 6 months for preliminary results. I barely hear the rest of the meeting through the rushing in my ears. We did it. They approved it. My mediation model is about to become official alliance policy. That evening, back at the hotel, I'm on the phone with Catherine while Dax orders room service. I'm so proud of you, sweetheart, she says, and I can hear the tears in her voice. Your father and I watched the live stream. You were magnificent. It hasn't actually started yet. Just approved for pilot program, which is how every major policy begins. You've fundamentally changed how PACs handle conflict, Remy. Do you understand how remarkable that is? I'm starting to. I look down at my barely there baby bump. I just hope I can manage implementation while being pregnant and raising Adrian. You'll manage because you're you and because you have help. Dax, us, Eleanor, the entire Alliance infrastructure. After we hang up, Dax finds me on the balcony overlooking the summit complex. The implementation committee wants to meet next week, he says, handing me herbal tea. They're moving fast. Too fast? No, just fast enough. He wraps an arm around me. You know what I was thinking about during that meeting? The night we met. You, sitting at the bar, devastated from Flynn's rejection, thinking your life was over. If someone had told you then that 5 years later you'd be implementing continental policy that changes pack governance forever, you'd have thought they were insane. I would have laughed them out of the bar, exactly. But look at you now, prophesied Luna, respected mediator, mother, about to be mother of 2, changing the world one policy at a time. His hand finds my stomach. This is what the prophecy meant, Remy. Not some dramatic revolution, but this steady, purposeful transformation of how we live and interact. I still feel like I'm making it up as I go. That's because you are. We all are, but you're making it up brilliantly. The next morning, we fly home to find Adrian has made a welcome banner with his grandparents' help. Mama changed the world in wobbly 5-year-old handwriting with approximately 1 million glitter stars. Did you really change the world? He asks as I hug him. I'm trying to make it a little better, I say. So by the time you grow up, maybe there will be less fighting and more talking. That's good. Fighting is scary. He touches my stomach. Is the baby still in there? Still in there, growing every day. I've been practicing control exercises extra hard, he announces proudly, so I can help teach the baby when they're born. The baby won't need control exercises for a few years, sweetie, but I'll be really good at them by then. I'll be the best big brother teacher ever. That night, tucking him into bed, Adrian asks the question I've been dreading. Mama, some kids at school said their parents don't like you. They said you're trying to make alphas weak. I sit on his bed, choosing my words carefully. Some people are scared of change. They think the old ways of doings are better, even when the old ways involved a lot of fighting. So when I suggest new ways, it makes them nervous. But you're making things better. You said so. I believe I am, but not everyone agrees, and that's okay. People are allowed to disagree. Are you sad when people don't like you? Sometimes. But I'd rather do what I think is right and have some people dislike me than do what's wrong just to make everyone happy. I smooth his hair. You'll face that too, as you get older. People will disagree with your choices. The important thing is staying true to what you believe is right. Even when it's hard? Especially when it's hard. He thinks about this, then nods. Okay, I can do that, because you do it and you're brave. You're brave too, baby. Braver than you know. After he falls asleep, I find Dax in our room reviewing implementation timelines. 5-year-olds are hearing their parents' opinions about me at school, I say, climbing into bed. Adrian asked about it. What did you tell him? The truth, that some people are scared of change, that we do what's right even when it's hard. Perfect answer. He sets aside his tablet. He'll face criticism his whole life, as your son, as the prophesied alpha. Better he learns now how to handle it with grace. I just want to protect him from all of it. I know, but we can't. All we can do is give him tools to handle it himself. Dax pulls me close, which you're doing beautifully. I rest my head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat, thinking about the week ahead. Implementation meetings, training program development. There's media interviews about the new protocols, prenatal appointments, Adrian's parent-teacher conference, Marcus's birthday party, the mundane mixed with the momentous, the personal woven through the prophetic. This is my life now, not the dramatic revolution Margaret wanted or the fearful stagnation Richard preferred. Something better, something real. A life where I can change pack policy and still make it home for bedtime stories, where I can be the prophesied Luna and also just Adrian's mom, Dax's mate, someone's future mother again, where power and love aren't opposing forces but complementary ones. I love this life, I murmur against Dax's chest. Good, he says, kissing my head, because we're just getting started. And despite the challenges ahead, the critics, the implementation hurdles, the pregnancy exhaustion, the constant balancing act, I smile. Because he's right. We're just getting started. And I can't wait to see what comes next. I'm 18 weeks pregnant when Adrian asks if the baby can hear him. Probably, I say, watching him press his ear against my growing stomach. The books say babies start hearing around this time. Baby. Adrian speaks directly to my belly. This is your big brother, Adrian. I'm going to teach you so many things, like how to do control exercises and how to build the best pillow fort and how to make Dada laugh when he's grumpy from work. I'm not grumpy from work. Dax protests from the kitchen. You were grumpy yesterday when the meeting went long, Adrian counters without looking up. Mama said you needed cookies and a nap. Your mother is very wise. The anatomy scan is scheduled for this afternoon. We'll finally find out if Adrian's getting a brother or sister. He's convinced it's a girl and has already picked out approximately 17 names, none of which we're actually using. Mama, if it's a girl, can we name her Starlight Rainbow Princess? That's 4 names, buddy, and no, but it's so pretty. How about we wait to see what name actually feels right once we meet her? Or him? It's a her, I can tell. He pats my stomach confidently. Hi, little sister. I'm going to protect you forever and ever. My heart melts. You're going to be such a good big brother. At the doctor's office, Dax holds my hand while the ultrasound technician applies the cold gel to my stomach. Adrian sits on Dax's other side, eyes glued to the monitor. Is that the baby? He asks as the image appears. That's your sibling, Dr. Vance confirms with a smile. Let me get some measurements, and then we'll see if baby wants to show us whether they're a boy or girl. We watch the tiny form on the screen, so much bigger than at the last scan, moving and flexing, very clearly a whole person now instead of a blob. Strong heartbeat, Dr. Vance says. Good size for 18 weeks. Everything looks perfect. Can you tell the gender? I ask. Let me see. Yes, baby's cooperating today. She moves the wand, getting a better angle. Congratulations, you're having a girl. Adrian jumps off the chair. I knew it. I told you it was a sister. Dax is staring at the screen, his expression soft in a way I rarely see. A daughter. A daughter, I echo, my own eyes filling with tears. We're having a girl. Can I tell Grandma and Grandpa? Adrian is practically vibrating with excitement. After we leave, yes, you can tell everyone. Dr. Vance prints several ultrasound photos. Everything looks great, Remy. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll see you again in 4 weeks. In the car, Adrian is already planning. She needs a princess room. Pink and purple, with stars and a unicorn. Can she have a unicorn? Maybe a stuffed unicorn, Dax says. Real unicorns are hard to find. And I can teach her about alpha power when she's big enough, even though she might have Luna power like Mama instead. That's okay, too. I'll teach her everything. I turn to look at him in the back seat. You're really excited about being a big brother, aren't you? It's the most exciting thing ever. Well, except when I learned I had alpha power. That was also exciting. But this is different exciting. His face gets serious. Mama, will you still have time for me when the baby comes? My heart clenches. Always, baby. Always. Having a sister doesn't mean we love you less. It means our family gets bigger, and we have more love to share. Promise? I promise. You'll always be my first baby. My Adrian. He seems satisfied with this answer and goes back to planning his sister's future. That evening, we host a small family dinner to share the news. Catherine cries. Alexander grins and immediately starts planning protective security measures for my granddaughter. Eleanor announces she's renovating one of the estate's guest suites into a nursery for when you visit. We have a nursery at the penthouse, I point out. Yes, but she'll need one here too for extended stays. Eleanor is already making notes. I'm thinking soft blues and grays. Modern but warm. I thought you'd want pink, Dax says. Pink is cliché. She's a wolf and a Moonhaven. She deserves better than clichés. Marcus and Sarah arrive with their kids, and soon the house is full of children running around while adults discuss nursery colors and name possibilities. Have you picked a name? Sarah asks. Not yet, I admit. We have a few we like, but nothing definite. With Adrian, we knew immediately, Dax says. The name just fit. This time it's harder. You'll know when you meet her, Catherine assures us. Sometimes babies just tell you their names. Later, after everyone's gone home and Adrian is asleep, Dax and I sit in what will become the nursery, currently just an empty guest room with plans. A daughter, he says softly. I'm terrified. You. Terrified. The alpha who faces down hostile board members and pack challenges without flinching. That's different. This is a tiny girl who's going to have both our stubbornness and probably your Luna power and definitely her brother's protective instincts turned on her. He runs his hands through his hair. What if I mess it up? What if I'm too overprotective or not protective enough or... Dax, I take his hand. You're an amazing father to Adrian. You'll be amazing to her too. Adrian has alpha power. I understand that. I know how to guide him. But a daughter with Luna abilities? He looks at me. That's your territory. Then we'll guide her together, just like we do with Adrian. Just like we do with everything. I lean against him. Besides, we don't even know if she'll have Luna power. She might be fully alpha like you, or have no active abilities at all. We won't know for years. True. He's quiet for a moment. I keep thinking about how lucky I am. 5 years ago I was alone, focused on work and power and building an empire. Now I have you, Adrian, and a daughter on the way. A family I never thought I'd have. You sap, I say, but I'm crying. Damn pregnancy hormones. Those aren't hormones. That's love. He kisses me gently. I love you, Remy. More than I thought possible. I love you too. Even when you're being overprotective and planning 17 security protocols for a baby who isn't born yet. 18. I added one while we were at dinner. Over the next few weeks, word spreads about the pregnancy. The pack media is predictably interested. Prophesied Luna expecting second child and alpha heir gets future sibling. More interesting is the response from the implementation committee. They want to know if I need to step back from mediation training development. Absolutely not, I tell them during a video conference. I'm pregnant, not incapacitated. I can work until I can't. And right now I'm perfectly capable. We don't want to put undue stress, one committee member begins. Running 18 successful mediations while pregnant with Adrian was stressful. Developing training curriculum while pregnant is nothing compared to that. I soften my tone slightly. I appreciate the concern, but the best thing you can do for me is let me work. Sitting around being pregnant is actually more stressful than having purpose. They agree, somewhat reluctantly. The pilot program launches 3 weeks later. 5 regions, 5 newly trained mediators, comprehensive oversight protocols. I spend hours reviewing reports, providing feedback, consulting on challenging cases. You need to rest, Dax says, finding me at my laptop at 11 p.m. I'm reviewing the Mountain West mediation. The mediator handled the water rights dispute beautifully, but I have suggestions for improving her emotional assessment protocol. The suggestions can wait until morning. But, Remy? He gently closes my laptop. You're 22 weeks pregnant. You've been working since 6 a.m. The pilot program won't collapse if you sleep. I just want it to succeed. It will succeed because you built strong foundations and trained good mediators, but it won't succeed if you burn yourself out before the baby even arrives. He pulls me up. Bed. Now, doctor's orders, mine. You're not a doctor. I'm your mate who's pulling alpha authority if you don't come to bed willingly. You wouldn't. Watch me. I go to bed, but I dream about mediations and training protocols and a little girl with Dax's eyes and my power growing inside me while the pack system transforms around us. At 24 weeks, we finally agree on a name. It happens spontaneously. We're sitting at breakfast, watching Adrian make faces at my stomach, trying to make the baby kick, when Dax says, "What about Luna?" I look at him. Luna? Like the title? No, like the name. Luna Wolfe, or Luna Moonhaven Wolfe if we go with the full thing. He's watching my reaction carefully. I know it's your title, but it's also just a beautiful name, and it means moon. Seems appropriate for the prophesied Luna's daughter. Luna, I test it. Luna Wolfe. And for a middle name, I was thinking Grace, after Lorraine's middle name. She's been so important to your training, to Adrian's development. It feels right. Luna Grace Wolfe. I rest my hand on my stomach, where our daughter is currently doing gymnastics. What do you think, baby girl? Is that your name? She kicks, hard. I think that's a yes, Dax says, smiling. Luna Grace it is, then. I look at Adrian. What do you think, Adrian? Your sister's name is Luna Grace. His face scrunches up in thought. But that's not Starlight Rainbow Princess. No, it's not. Will she like it? I think so. It's a strong name for a strong girl. He considers this, then nods. Okay. Hi, Luna Grace. I'm your big brother, Adrian, and I still love you, even though your name isn't as cool as the one I picked. Dax and I burst out laughing. She's lucky to have you as a brother, I tell Adrian. I know, he says with complete confidence. I'm going to be the best brother ever. And watching him talk to my stomach, already protective of his sister who isn't even born yet, I believe him. We're building something here. Not just a family, but a future. A future where the prophesied Luna's children grow up knowing love and protection and purpose, where power and peace coexist, where change happens gradually through patience and work and choosing to be better every day. Luna Grace kicks again, and I wonder what she'll be like, what gifts she'll have, what challenges she'll face, what mark she'll make on the world. But mostly I just hope she knows she's loved. Already, before we've even met her, she's loved beyond measure. And that, more than any prophecy or power, is the greatest gift we can give her. I go into labor 3 weeks early, which shouldn't surprise anyone given my track record. It's 2 a.m. when the first contraction wakes me. For a moment, I think it's just Braxton Hicks. I've been having those for weeks. But then the second one hits, stronger, unmistakable. Dax, I shake his shoulder. It's time. He's awake instantly, going from dead asleep to fully alert alpha mode in seconds. Are you sure? Very sure. And my water just broke, so yeah, we need to go. What follows is controlled chaos. Dax calls Dr. Vance while simultaneously getting dressed and grabbing our hospital bag. I call Catherine to come stay with Adrian, who's still asleep and has no idea he's about to become a big brother tonight instead of 3 weeks from now. How far apart are the contractions? Dax asks, helping me into comfortable clothes. About 5 minutes. We have time, but not a lot. Catherine arrives within 15 minutes. She must have broken several speed limits. Go, she says, kissing my cheek. I've got Adrian. Text me the second she arrives. The drive to the hospital is tense. Contractions are coming faster now, and I'm doing my breathing exercises while gripping the door handle. You're doing great, Dax says, though his knuckles are white on the steering wheel. Just keep breathing. I'm breathing? I'm breathing and cursing 3-week early babies who decide 2 a.m. is a good time to arrive. She's punctual. Gets that from you. I'm never punctual. You're punctual for mediations. That's professional obligation, not. Another contraction hits and I lose my train of thought. At the hospital, Dr. Vance confirms I'm already 6 centimeters dilated. This baby's in a hurry, she says. Second babies usually come faster anyway. I'd say we're looking at 3 to 4 hours, maybe less. 3 to 4 hours of this. I can do this. I did it before with Adrian, except Adrian took 14 hours and I'd forgotten how much labor actually hurts. I want the epidural, I say. Now. Immediately. Yesterday. Anesthesiologist is on the way, a nurse assures me. Dax holds my hand through another contraction and I feel his alpha power reaching through our bond, trying to comfort me. It helps, but only marginally. There's no magic cure for labor pain. The epidural, when it finally arrives, is heaven. Blessed, wonderful, pain-reducing heaven. Better? Dax asks as I finally relax. So much better. I can think again. I can remember why we thought having a second child was a good idea. Because Adrian needs a sister to keep him humble? That's definitely part of it. Over the next 2 hours, I dilate to 10 centimeters. Dr. Vance checks and confirms it's time to push. Ready to meet your daughter? She asks. So ready. Pushing is exactly as hard as I remember. Exhausting, painful, despite the epidural, endless. But Dax is there, holding my hand, whispering encouragement, being exactly what I need. One more push, Dr. Vance says. Come on, Remy. One big push. I push with everything I have, and suddenly there's crying, loud, indignant. How dare you evict me from my comfortable, warm place, crying. It's a girl, Dr. Vance announces, though we already knew that. A healthy, beautiful baby girl. They place her on my chest, tiny, pink, screaming, perfect. Luna Grace Wolfe, finally here. 3 weeks early, but absolutely perfect. Hi, baby girl, I whisper, tears streaming down my face. Welcome to the world. She stops crying at my voice, her unfocused eyes trying to find my face. She has dark hair like Adrian did, and Dax's nose, and the most perfect tiny fingers I've ever seen. She's beautiful, Dax says, his voice rough with emotion. His finger traces her tiny hand, and she immediately grips it. Look at that grip, strong already. Takes after her mother. I say, unable to stop staring at her. After they clean her up and do all the measurements, 7 pounds, 2 ounces, 19 inches long, perfect APGAR scores, they bring her back to me for skin-to-skin contact. She roots around and latches on to nurse like she's been doing it forever. Natural, the nurse says approvingly. Good latch on the first try. You've got an eager eater. Dax sits beside the bed, his hand on my shoulder, Samit watching Luna nurse with that same soft expression he had when Adrian was born. We made another person, he says quietly. Another perfect little person. We did, and this time we didn't do it during my mating ceremony, so that's progress. He laughs. Setting the bar very low there. Oatmeal. I contain multitudes. Catherine brings Adrian to meet his sister a few hours later, once we're settled in the recovery room. Is that her? Adrian asks in a whisper, peering into the bassinet where Luna is sleeping. Is that Luna, Grace? That's your sister, I confirm. Want to meet her? He nods enthusiastically. We position him in a chair, and Dax carefully places Luna in his arms, supervising closely. Adrian stares at her with complete wonder. She's so small and pink, and her fingers are tiny. You were this small once, Dax tells him. No way, I was never this small. You were. We have pictures to prove it. Adrian very gently touches Luna's hand. She wraps her fingers around his thumb, and his face lights up. She's holding me. Mama, she's holding me. She knows you're her big brother, I say, my heart absolutely melting. She already loves you. I love her too, so much. He looks at Luna with such pure devotion. I'm going to protect you forever, Luna Grace. No one's going to mess with you because you have me. Best big brother ever, I tell him, and mean it. Over the next 2 days in the hospital, we have a steady stream of visitors, Alexander and Catherine, who spoil Luna with enough pink outfits to last until she's 5. Eleanor, who holds her great-granddaughter with surprising gentleness and declares her perfect Wolfe bloodline. Marcus and Sarah with their kids, who are fascinated by the tiny baby. Lorraine, who checks Luna's energy signature and finds it interesting she has significant power potential, but it's too early to say what kind. The PAC media requests photos and statements. Dax handles it all, releasing a single official photo and a brief statement. Luna Grace Wolfe was born healthy and happy. The family is doing well and asks for privacy during this special time. It's simple, dignified, and hopefully keeps the media attention manageable. On day 3, we're cleared to go home. Adrian helps carry Luna's bag, taking his big brother duties very seriously. Catherine has stocked our penthouse with enough food to feed an army, and Eleanor had cleaners come through to make everything spotless. Welcome home, Luna Grace, I say as we walk through the door. This is where you live now. It's not as fancy as the estate, but it's ours. She's sleeping in her car seat, completely oblivious to the momentous occasion of coming home for the first time. Should we put her in the nursery? Dax asks. Bassinet in our room for now. I want her close at night. Good. Me too. The first night home is predictably chaotic. Luna wakes every 2 hours to eat. Adrian wakes at 3 a.m., asking if the baby is okay because he heard crying. Dax and I are zombies by morning, but somehow we survive. This is harder than I remembered, I tell Dax over breakfast, while Luna nurses and Adrian eats cereal. You're also running on less sleep and recovering from labor while managing a 5-year-old and monitoring the mediation pilot program. Oh right, that. I'd actually forgotten about the pilot program for approximately 8 hours. I should check in with the committee. You should rest. The committee can wait. But the pilot program is succeeding. Last report showed a 92% resolution rate across all 5 regions. Your mediators are handling things beautifully. You built a system that works even when you're not actively managing every detail. He takes Luna from me, settling her against his shoulder for burping. Take a nap. I've got both kids. You have a board meeting at 2. I'm calling in. They can survive without me for a day. You never miss board meetings. I also never had a newborn daughter and a wife who just gave birth 3 days ago. Priorities shift. He kisses my forehead. Sleep, Remy. Everything else can wait. I'm too exhausted to argue. I stumble to our bedroom, fall into bed, and sleep for 4 glorious hours, while Dax manages both children like the competent alpha he is. When I wake, I find him on the couch with Adrian on one side reading a book, and Luna asleep on his chest. You're a natural at this 2-kid thing, I say softly. I'm faking it extremely well. But he's smiling. She's been asleep for an hour. I'm afraid to move and wake her. Then don't move, whatever you need. Just you. Come sit with us. I curl up on his other side and we sit there, our little family of 4 together, perfect in this moment despite the exhaustion and chaos and complete upheaval of our lives. We did it again, I murmur. We did, and somehow we're even better at it this time. Low bar, considering last time I gave birth during my mating ceremony. Will you ever let me forget that? Never. It's my best story. Luna makes a small sound in her sleep. Adrian looks up from his book to check on her, then goes back to reading once he's satisfied she's okay. My son, the fierce protector. My daughter, the newest addition. My mate, the foundation of everything. This family we've built from a one-night stand and a fake contract and choosing each other every single day. I love this life, I say quietly. Me too, Dax agrees. Even at 3 a.m. when everyone's crying and we can't remember what sleep feels like. Especially then. And despite everything, the sleepless nights ahead, the challenges of balancing 2 kids, the prophecy hanging over our children, the work still to be done, I mean it. This messy, chaotic, beautiful life is exactly where I'm meant to be. All of us together, just as it should be. Luna is 6 weeks old when I attempt my first post-baby mediation. Are you sure you're ready? Dax asks, watching me try on 3 different professional outfits because nothing fits quite right yet. I'm sure. Dr. Vance cleared me. Luna's eating well, Catherine's coming to help with both kids, and it's just one mediation, low-stakes territory boundary clarification between 2 friendly alphas. That's a lot of justification for a simple yes. I'm justifying it to myself as much as to you. I finally settle on a dress that accommodates my still-changing body. I need to do this, Dax. Need to prove I can still be Luna Remy, not just Luna Grace's mother. You're both. You've always been both. I know, but I need to feel it. I adjust the dress one more time. Besides, the pilot program evaluation is in 2 weeks. I should stay sharp. He doesn't argue further, just kisses me and wishes me luck. The mediation goes smoothly. So smoothly, it's almost boring. 2 alphas who genuinely like each other, a simple boundary dispute caused by outdated maps, resulted in 90 minutes with handshakes and promises to have dinner together next month. That was refreshingly easy, Luna Chen says afterward. She's been my observer for so long now that she feels more like a colleague than oversight. You're not rusty at all. You're not rusty at all. Muscle memory, maybe. I pack up my materials, or maybe I just got lucky with easy clients from my first one back. Or maybe you're naturally gifted at this, and 6 weeks away didn't change that. When I get home, Catherine reports that Luna slept most of the morning and Adrian was very helpful, which probably means he tried to help with the baby in ways that were more adorable than actually useful. How did it go? Catherine asks. Good. Really good, actually. Felt like putting on a favorite coat. Comfortable, familiar. I take Luna from her arms, breathing in that perfect baby smell. Thank you for watching them. Anytime. They're my grandchildren. I'm happy to help whenever you need. After she leaves, I spend the afternoon with both kids. Adrian wants to help feed his sister, which involves him sitting very seriously beside me while I nurse and providing commentary. Is she getting enough milk, Mama? She's doing great, buddy. She drinks a lot, more than I drink juice. Babies need lots of milk to grow big and strong like you. Will she have alpha power like me? It's not the first time he's asked this. Maybe, or Luna power like me. Or both, or neither. We won't know for years. I hope she has something, so we can train together. He watches Luna nurse with serious concentration. But if she doesn't, that's okay too. I'll still protect her. My heart squeezes. You're such a good big brother. I know, he says with 5-year-old confidence. It's my most important job. The pilot program evaluation happens 2 weeks later. A full day of presentations, data analysis, and deliberation by the Alliance Council. I'm nervous despite the positive preliminary results. 92% resolution rate across all 5 regions. 83 total mediations completed. Only 6 escalations to formal council intervention. By any measure, it's a success. But I know not everyone will see it that way. The numbers are impressively. Alpha Morrison begins the session, far exceeding our initial projections. However, we need to address concerns raised by some members about sustainability and scalability. Alpha Richard, because of course, stands. These results are from 5 carefully selected regions with cooperative alphas and relatively simple disputes. What happens when we scale to 15 regions with more complex conflicts and less cooperative parties? The selection process for the pilot regions was random, Luna Victoria corrects. We deliberately included both conservative and progressive territories, simple and complex disputes. The success isn't due to cherry-picking easy cases. Nevertheless, Nevertheless, the data speaks for itself, Marcus interrupts from the audience. He's here as Wolfe Enterprises COO, but also as my friend. 6 months, 5 regions, 92% success rate. Even if that drops to 70% at scale, that's still a revolutionary improvement over the previous system. The debate continues for hours. Cost-benefit analysis, implementation timelines, training protocols, oversight mechanisms. I answer questions about mediator selection, quality control, ethical guidelines. Finally, Alpha Morrison calls for a vote. All in favor of expanding to Phase 2, 15 regions over the next year? Hands rise. I count them, heart pounding. 11 in favor. Only Richard abstains. Motion passes, Morrison announces. Phase 2 is approved. Luna Remy, congratulations. Your pilot program exceeded expectations. We're moving forward with expansion. Relief crashes through me so hard I have to sit down. We did it. The mediation model is officially expanding. That evening, Dax insists on celebrating despite my exhaustion. Dinner at 11 Madison Park, he announces. Catherine's already agreed to watch both kids overnight. We're having a proper date night. Dax, I'm tired. Which is exactly why you need a night away from diapers and toddler questions and mediation reports. One evening, just us, celebrating your massive professional achievement. What about nursing? Luna needs to eat every 3 hours. I bought a breast pump. Catherine has expressed milk in the fridge. We've planned for everything. His eyes are intense. Let me celebrate you, Remy. You've earned this. So we go, and it's perfect. Excellent food, better wine, which I can finally have in moderation since I'm pumping, and Dax's undivided attention for 3 full hours. To the Luna who's changing the world one mediation at a time, he toasts. To my mate, who stress bakes and supports me even when I'm being difficult, I counter. We talk about everything except kids and work, travel plans for when Luna's older, that vacation we've been planning for 3 years, the small, everyday moments that make up a life together. I miss this, I admit over dessert. Just us, being a couple instead of parents managing logistics. We're still us, just us with additional tiny humans who demand all our attention. He takes my hand. But we should do this more often, date nights, reminding ourselves why we chose each other before the kids came along. Because you were devastatingly handsome and I was vulnerable and desperate? I prefer to think it was our undeniable chemistry and inevitable destiny. That too. When we get home past midnight, scandalously late for us these days, Catherine reports that both kids slept beautifully and everything went smoothly. Thank you, I tell her, hugging her tight. For everything, for watching them, for supporting us, for being the mother I needed when I didn't know I needed one. Oh, sweetheart, she hugs me back. Being your mother, even coming into it late, has been one of my greatest joys. You've given us so much. Family, grandchildren, purpose. We're the ones who should be thanking you. After she leaves, Dax and I check on the kids. Adrian is sprawled across his bed, blankets kicked off. Luna sleeps in her bassinet, tiny and perfect. Our family, Dax says softly, his arm around my waist. Our family, echo. Sometimes I still can't believe this is real, that we built this from one night in a fake contract. Best fake contract I ever signed. Only fake contract you ever signed. Still the best. Over the next few months, life settles into a rhythm. Luna grows, hitting all her milestones right on schedule. Rolling over at 4 months, sitting up at 6 months, babbling constantly, though not forming actual words yet. Adrian is obsessed with her, constantly wanting to help, making her laugh with silly faces. The mediation program expands to 15 regions. I train 6 new mediators, develop advanced curriculum with Lorraine, and handle the occasional complex case that requires my specific expertise. Adrian starts kindergarten and loves it. His control over his alpha power improves daily. His teacher reports he's kind, helpful, and shows natural leadership, like his parents, she says, which makes me ridiculously proud. Dax balances running Wolfe Enterprises with being a present father. He misses fewer board meetings now, prioritizing family time. The company doesn't collapse. Turns out delegation actually works. We're exhausted constantly. The house is always messy. I can't remember the last time I slept past 6 a.m. Date nights are rare. Romance happens in stolen moments between feedings and bedtimes. But we're happy. Genuinely, completely happy. I was thinking, Dax says one night after both kids are finally asleep. We're on the couch, me half dozing against his shoulder while he reviews quarterly reports. Dangerous, I mumble. About the prophecy. About Adrian and Luna. What they're supposed to become. He sets aside his tablet. I don't want them crushed by expectations. Don't want them spending their whole lives trying to live up to some ancient prediction. Me neither. So what do? How do we let them be kids while also preparing them for whatever the prophecy means for them? I think about this. We do what we've been doing. Love them, support them. Teach them that power is a tool, not an identity. Let them discover who they are before telling them who they're supposed to be. And if the prophecy is wrong, if Adrian doesn't become the most powerful alpha, or Luna doesn't develop significant abilities, or they choose completely different paths, then we celebrate that too. I sit up to look at him properly. The prophecy isn't a prison sentence. It's a possibility. They get to decide if they want to fulfill it and how. What if other people won't let them decide? What if the pack system expects certain things from them? Then we fight for their right to choose. Just like we've been fighting for everything else. I take his hand. We're their parents first, Dax. Before we're alphas or lunas or anything else, we protect them, even from prophecies if necessary. He pulls me close. Have I mentioned lately that I love you? Not in the last 3 hours. Very neglectful. I love you, Remy Moonhaven Wolfe. Even when you're covered in spit up and haven't showered in 2 days. I showered yesterday. My point stands. I should be offended, but I'm too comfortable to move. Love you too, even when you're insufferable. I'm never insufferable. You're frequently insufferable, but you're my insufferable mate, so I tolerate it. From the baby monitor, we hear Luna start to fuss. I groan. I thought we had another hour. I've got her, Dax says, standing. You fed her last time. My turn for diaper duty. I watch him head to Luna's room, this powerful alpha who runs a Fortune 500 company and can command any wolf in his territory, going to change our daughter's diaper at 11 p.m. without complaint. This is my life now. Prophecies and diapers, mediation training and bedtime stories, continental policy changes and kindergarten drop-offs. The mundane woven through the momentous. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Not for easier paths or simpler lives or any alternative universe where things worked out differently. This chaotic, exhausting, beautiful life is exactly where I'm supposed to be. All of us, together, building our future one imperfect day at a time. Luna is 5 years old when she first shows signs of her abilities. We're at the Moonhaven Estate for Adrian's 10th birthday party. A massive affair because he's the prophesied alpha, and apparently that means even birthday parties become political events. There are 50 kids running around the gardens, pack members everywhere, and enough cake to feed a small army. Luna has been clingy all morning, holding my hand, asking to be picked up more than usual. I assume she's overwhelmed by the crowd until I see her staring at one of Marcus's kids, Tommy, the boy Adrian befriended years ago, with intense concentration. Luna? You okay, baby? Tommy's sad, she says quietly. He's trying to hide it, but he's really sad inside. I kneel beside her. How do you know he's sad? I can feel it, like a heavy gray cloud around him. She looks up at me with those big green eyes, my eyes. Can you feel it too, Mama? Oh no, this is it. This is Luna power manifesting. I can, I say carefully, extending my own Luna senses to check. She's right, Tommy is projecting sadness beneath his party smile. You're feeling his emotions, sweetie. That's a very special ability. Like your Luna power? Exactly like that. I smooth her dark hair. How long have you been feeling other people's emotions? Started this morning. Everyone's feelings are so loud, Mama. It's like they're all talking at once inside my head. My heart aches for her. I remember when my power first manifested, the overwhelming flood of everyone's emotions, not knowing how to filter or control it. Come with me, I say, taking her hand. We need to talk to Daddy and Lorraine. We find Dax managing gift tables while simultaneously on a work call. He takes one look at my face and ends the call immediately. What's wrong? Luna's manifesting. She can sense emotions. She's overwhelmed. His expression shifts from concern to understanding in an instant. Lorraine's around here somewhere. I'll find her. 10 minutes later, we're in Eleanor's library with Lorraine, Luna sitting on my lap looking small and scared. Tell me what you're experiencing. Lorraine says gently. Everyone's feelings are really loud, Luna says. Adrian feels happy, excited, but also nervous, worried about his presence. Grandma Catherine feels love-proud when she looks at the kids. That boy Tommy feels sad, lonely, even though he's smiling. And Mama feels worried, scared about me. She looks up at me. Why are you scared, Mama? I'm not scared of you, baby. I'm scared for you. I remember when my power started and how hard it was. Can you teach me how to make it quieter? That's exactly what we're going to do. I hug her close. Lorraine is going to help us, just like she helped me and Adrian. Lorraine spends the next hour teaching Luna basic shielding techniques, visualizing walls around her mind, filtering emotions instead of feeling everything at once. She's a quick learner, which doesn't surprise me. Luna has always been sharp, observant, taking everything in. Better? I ask after the lesson. A little. It's still there, but not as loud. Luna leans against me tiredly. Can we go home? I don't want to be around so many people right now. Of course. I look at Dax. Can you handle the party? Go. Take her home. I'll bring Adrian back later. At the penthouse, Luna curls up on the couch with her favorite stuffed wolf while I make hot chocolate. Our comfort ritual. Mama, am I like you now? Am I a Luna? It looks that way, yes. You're showing Luna abilities. Is Adrian going to be mad? He's the alpha and I thought I'd be something else. Why would Adrian be mad? Because I'm special now too. He's always been the special one with his alpha power. Her voice is small. What if he doesn't want me to be special? Oh, sweetheart. I sit beside her, pulling her close. Adrian loves you more than anything. He's not going to be mad that you have abilities. He's going to be excited he can train with you, share this part of his life with you. Promise? I promise. Your brother has been your biggest protector since the day you were born. That's not going to change. When Dax brings Adrian home later, Luna is asleep on the couch. I fill Adrian in quietly about what happened. His reaction is immediate and passionate. Luna has Luna power? That's so cool. Can she teach me about emotions? I'm not good at reading those. Maybe if she shows me what they feel like, I can understand people better. See? I tell Luna when she wakes up. Your brother is excited for you. Adrian sits beside her on the couch. Mama told me you can feel everyone's emotions. That's really powerful, Luna. Way more useful than my alpha command. Really? Really? I can make people do what I say, but you can understand what they're feeling. That's like having a superpower for understanding people. You're going to be an amazing Luna someday. Luna beams at him. You think so? I know so. You're my sister. You're automatically amazing. He hugs her. And now we can train together. We'll both be super strong and protect everyone together. Crisis averted. My children are perfect. Over the next few months, we adjust to having 2 children with active abilities. Adrian's alpha power is strong, controlled, and growing more sophisticated. He's learning not just to command, but to lead, understanding when to use his power and when to rely on other skills. Luna's Luna abilities develop rapidly. She can sense emotions clearly by age 5.5, and is learning to project calm and other feelings. Lorraine predicts she'll be extraordinarily powerful, possibly even rivaling my abilities eventually. 2 prophesied children, Dax says one night. We really don't do anything halfway, do we? Apparently not. I'm reviewing training schedules for both kids. Adrian has sessions 3 times a week. Luna just started twice weekly. At least they have each other, and us, and a whole support system. And no one trying to bind their powers or claim they're too dangerous. Yet, I say darkly. Richard's been quiet, but he's still out there, still probably waiting for an opportunity to cause problems. Let him wait. We'll deal with him if necessary. Right now we focus on our kids. The mediation program has expanded to all regions now. Full continental implementation. I oversee it from a strategic level, but the day-to-day operations run smoothly without my constant involvement. I've successfully built a system that doesn't rely solely on me, which gives me more time for what matters: family, training my children, the occasional complex mediation that requires my specific skill set. You know what's funny? I say to Dax. What? Margaret said I was wasting my potential on domesticity and love, but this, raising the next generation of alphas and lunas, teaching them to use power responsibly, building a family while transforming pack governance, this is exactly what the prophecy meant. I'm uniting packs by raising children who will lead differently than previous generations. The long game. The long game, I agree. Adrian and Luna will grow up knowing cooperation matters as much as strength. That power includes responsibility. That change happens through patience and work, not violence and revolution. And they'll teach that to their children, and so on, creating generational change. Exactly. I lean against him. Margaret wanted immediate revolution. I chose evolution, and it's working. Adrian's 10th birthday is also significant for another reason. It's the year he's invited to join the Junior Alpha Training Program, an elite program for young alphas showing exceptional promise. I don't know if I want to go, he admits the night before the acceptance deadline. It's 3 weeks away from home, training with other alphas. What about Luna? What if she needs me? Luna will be fine for 3 weeks, I assure him. And this is an incredible opportunity. You'll learn from the best trainers, meet other young alphas, develop your abilities. But what if? Adrian. Dax sits beside him. Your mother and I survived 3 weeks apart before you were born. Luna can survive 3 weeks without her big brother. And you need to do this for yourself, not just for the family. What if I'm not as good as the other alphas? Then you'll learn and improve. That's the whole point. Dax's voice is firm but kind. You're the prophesied alpha, Adrian, but that's not why you're strong. You're strong because you work hard, you care about people, and you're not afraid to learn. Those qualities will serve you at training and in life. Adrian considers this. Will you visit? We'll visit on Parents' Weekend, I promise, and you can call us every day if you want. Okay, he takes a deep breath. Okay, I'll do it. I'll go to training. That's my boy. Dax pulls him into a hug. We're proud of you. After Adrian goes to bed, I find myself in Luna's room watching her sleep. She looks so small, so innocent. 5 years old with Luna power that will only grow stronger. What are you thinking? Dax appears in the doorway. That our children are growing up, that they're facing challenges we can help with but can't protect them from entirely. That Adrian's going to be gone for 3 weeks and Luna's going to miss him terribly. And that we're doing a good job anyway, he adds, coming to stand beside me. Look at them, Remy. Adrian, who's brave enough to try something scary. Luna, who's learning to control power most adults struggle with. They're good kids, kind kids, strong kids. That's because of us. Us and our army of support people. Fine, us and our army, but still us. He pulls me close. We're giving them what we didn't have. Stable families, unconditional love, guidance through their abilities. That's not nothing. It's everything, I correct softly. Luna stirs in her sleep, making a small sound. I adjust her blanket, kiss her forehead, and let Dax guide me out of the room. Our children are growing up. The prophecies are unfolding, the pack system is evolving, and somehow in the middle of all this momentous change, we're still just a family. Still us, building our future one day at a time. 10 years, I say as we head to our room. It's been 10 years since that night at the Apex. Best night of my life, Dax says. You say that, but I distinctly remember you panicking when you found out I was pregnant. I said best, not easiest. There's a difference. Fair point. In our room, getting ready for bed, I think about the journey. Rejected waitress to prophesied Luna, one-night stand to true mates, one child to two, building a family while transforming continental pack policy. It's been messy and hard and exhausting, and absolutely perfect. Love you, oatmeal, Dax says, pulling me into bed. Love you too, I murmur, already half asleep. Tomorrow, Adrian starts a new chapter. Luna continues discovering her abilities. The mediation program enters its 5th year of full implementation. And we'll face it all together, the way we always have, the way we always will. Together. The emergency call comes at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. I'm pulled from deep sleep by my phone buzzing insistently. Dax answers it before I'm fully conscious, his voice going from groggy to alert in seconds. What? When? We'll be there in 20 minutes. What's wrong? I ask, sitting up as he's already out of bed, pulling on clothes. Adrian, there's been an incident at the training facility. He's okay, he adds quickly, seeing my face. But they need us there immediately. We wake Luna, bundle her into the car, half asleep, and make the 40-minute drive to the Junior Alpha Training Center in 30 minutes. My mind races through possibilities. Training accident, fight with another alpha, power surge he couldn't control. The director meets us at the entrance. a stern woman named Commander Brooks. Alpha Wolfe, Luna Remy, thank you for coming so quickly. What happened to our son? Dax demands. He's physically unharmed, but there was an incident during tonight's advanced control exercises. She leads us through hallways to a private conference room. Adrian successfully froze 18 other alphas simultaneously for 47 minutes. I stare at her. 47 minutes? Most young alphas can maintain command on multiple targets for a few minutes at most. Adrian held 18 for nearly an hour and showed no signs of strain when we finally convinced him to release them. Why did he freeze them? I ask. Brooks's expression turns uncomfortable. That's something you need to discuss with him. He's in the medical wing. Nothing wrong physically, but he's shaken. We find Adrian sitting on a medical cot, looking small despite being 10 years old now and almost as tall as my shoulder. His eyes are red from crying. Mama, Dad. He launches himself at us, and we both catch him. I didn't mean to. I swear I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to what, buddy? Dax asks gently. Tell us what happened. There were these older boys, 15, 16 years old. They kept saying things about me, about being the prophesied alpha. His voice shakes. They said I only got into the program because of who my parents are, that I'm not actually strong, just spoiled and privileged. They kept pushing me during training exercises, trying to make me mess up. And tonight, I prompt. Tonight they cornered me after dinner, said if I was really as powerful as everyone claims, I should prove it. Started pushing me, challenging me to freeze them. Tears streamed down his face. I told them to stop. They wouldn't. One of them shoved me, and I just wanted them to stop, so I commanded them all to freeze. All 18 of them. And you held them for 47 minutes, Dax says. I was scared to let go. What if they attack me again? What if they hurt me? Adrian is full-on sobbing now. I didn't know what to do, so I just kept holding them until Commander Brooks found us and said I had to release them. My heart breaks for him. Oh, Adrian, you weren't in the wrong here. They were bullying you. You defended yourself. But I froze them for so long. Some of them were crying. They were so scared of me. He looks up at us. Am I a monster? Is that why everyone's scared of me? You're not a monster, Dax says firmly. You're a 10-year-old boy who was being bullied by teenagers and defended yourself the only way you knew how. They're the ones who should be ashamed, not you. Commander Brooks appears in the doorway. Alpha Wolfe, Luna Remy, we need to discuss consequences. Consequences for Adrian? I ask sharply. He was being bullied. Consequences for everyone involved, she clarifies. The 18 boys are being disciplined for harassment and bullying. Adrian? She looks at our son. You're not in trouble for defending yourself, but we need to address the fact that you demonstrated power far beyond what we've seen from any trainee in this program's history. Holding 18 alphas for that long requires strength most adult alphas don't possess. What are you saying? Dax's voice has gone dangerous. I'm saying Adrian may be too advanced for this program. His abilities are developing faster and stronger than we're equipped to handle. Brooks looks uncomfortable. I'm recommending he continue training privately with specialists rather than in a group setting. You're kicking him out, Adrian says quietly, because I'm too powerful. Not kicking out. Redirecting to more appropriate training. It's okay. Adrian wipes his eyes. I didn't want to be here anyway. I want to go home. The drive home is silent, except for Luna asking questions in her sweet 5-year-old voice. Why is Adrian sad? He had a rough night, baby. The older boys were mean to him, I can feel it. She reaches forward to touch Adrian's shoulder from her car seat. I'm sorry they were mean, Adrian. Thanks, Luna Bear. His voice is thick. At home, I tuck both kids into bed even though it's nearly 6 a.m. Luna falls asleep immediately, exhausted. Adrian stares at the ceiling. Mama, am I too powerful? Is that a bad thing? I sit on his bed. No, sweetheart. Being powerful isn't bad. But it does mean you have to be extra careful with your abilities, extra responsible. I don't want to be the prophesied alpha anymore. I just want to be normal. I know. I smooth his hair. When I was your age, well, when I first discovered my power, I felt the same way. I wanted to be normal, not special. But eventually I learned that power is just a tool. It's what you do with it that matters. What if I do something bad with it? What if I hurt someone? Then you'll learn and do better next time. That's all any of us can do. I kiss his forehead. You're a good kid, Adrian. You have a good heart. The power doesn't change that. He's quiet for a moment. I miss how things were before training, when it was just us. We're still just us. Nothing's changed except you learned you're stronger than we thought. I stand. Get some sleep. We'll figure out the training situation later. Downstairs, Dax is pacing the living room, his phone in hand. I'm calling the Alliance Council, he says. This is unacceptable. My son was bullied by 18 boys, and somehow he's the one being removed from the program. Dax, no. This is exactly what we were afraid of, people being scared of our children because of the prophecy. Adrian did nothing wrong. I know. But maybe private training is better anyway. I sink onto the couch. He was miserable there. The bullying probably wasn't new. Tonight was just when it finally came to a head. Why didn't he tell us he was being bullied? Because he's 10 and wanted to handle it himself, because he didn't want to seem weak or need his parents to fight his battles. I rub my temples. He's growing up, Dax. He's facing challenges we can't protect him from. I hate this. Me too. We sit in silence as dawn breaks through the windows. Our son, the prophesied alpha, is upstairs crying himself to sleep because he's too powerful for normal training. Our daughter is developing Luna abilities at 5 years old, and somewhere out there, people are afraid of our children because of who they're destined to become. We need to talk to Lorraine, I say finally, and maybe Eleanor. Figure out private training that challenges Adrian without putting him in situations where he'll be bullied or feared. And we need to address the fact that our 10-year-old can freeze 18 alphas for 47 minutes. Dax runs his hands through his hair. That's unprecedented, Remy, even for the prophesied alpha. I know. The prophecy said he'd be the most powerful alpha in generations. I thought we had years before that manifested fully. So did I. My phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. The prophesied bloodline grows stronger. How long before your children become too powerful to control? Before they're a danger to everyone around them? The packs are watching, Luna Remy, and they're afraid. A concerned alpha. I show Dax the message. His expression goes cold. Richard, it has to be. Maybe. Or someone new, someone who sees our children as threats. I delete the message. We need to be careful, Dax. If people are genuinely afraid of Adrian and Luna, they might try to. No one is touching our children. His voice drops to pure alpha authority. Anyone who tries will answer to me. I know, but we can't fight everyone. If enough alphas decide our kids are dangerous, I trail off, the implications hanging heavy. This is what Margaret warned about, what the prophecy implied. Power comes with a cost, and now our children are paying it. We protect them, Dax says firmly. However, we have to. From bullies, from fearful alphas, from the prophecy itself if necessary. They're our kids first. Everything else comes second. Agreed. But as I head upstairs to check on Adrian one more time, I can't shake the fear. Our children are powerful, unprecedentedly so, and power has always made people afraid. The question is, how do we protect Adrian and Luna from a world that might see them as threats instead of the extraordinary children they are? I don't have an answer yet, but I'll find one, because that's what mothers do. We protect our children, no matter the cost. The Emergency Pack Council meeting is called for the following evening. Word of Adrian's incident spread fast, too fast to be natural gossip. Someone leaked it deliberately, probably to stir up exactly the kind of fear and concern that now fills the council chamber. This is a witch hunt, Marcus says, standing beside us as we wait for the session to begin. They're using a 10-year-old's defensive action to justify their fear of the prophecy. Let them try, Dax growls. I've got 3 lawyers on standby, and Luna Victoria already called to express her support. I'm less confident. The chamber is packed with alphas I don't recognize, all wearing expressions ranging from concern to outright hostility. Richard sits in the front row, looking smug. Of course he's here. Adrian is at home with Luna, both kids under heavy security with Catherine and Eleanor. I hated leaving them, but this fight requires me here. Alpha Morrison calls the session to order. We're here to discuss the incident at the Junior Alpha Training Center involving Alpha Heir Adrian Wolfe. For those who haven't heard the details. We've all heard, Richard interrupts, standing. A 10-year-old boy froze 18 alphas for nearly an hour, held them captive with his power. Some of those boys reported feeling terror, helplessness. This is exactly what many of us have warned about, the prophesied bloodline becoming too powerful to exist safely among us. He was defending himself from bullying, I say, standing as well. 18 teenagers cornered my son and challenged him. He responded to a threat. By demonstrating power that rivals most adult alphas, another voice calls out. If a 10-year-old can do this, what will he be capable of at 20, at 30? Perhaps you should be more concerned with why your teenagers thought bullying a child was acceptable. Dax's voice cuts through the murmurs. His alpha power floods the room, making even the strongest alphas straighten. My son was harassed, threatened, and physically assaulted. He defended himself. That's not a crime. That's survival instinct. The duration of the command concerns us, Alpha Patricia says. She's been neutral in the past, but now looks genuinely worried. 47 minutes of sustained control over 18 individuals. Most of us can't maintain that level of command for more than a few minutes. It suggests power that could be destabilizing. Or it suggests a child who was terrified and didn't know when it was safe to let go, I counter. He's 10. He hasn't been trained in complex power management because he's a child. He did what his instincts told him to do, maintain the defensive position until help arrived. The question isn't whether his actions were justified in the moment, Richard says smoothly. The question is what we do about a child, soon to be an adult, with power that vastly exceeds normal parameters. The prophecy said he'd be the most powerful alpha in generations. We assumed that meant incremental increases, not... He gestures vaguely. This. What exactly are you proposing? Dax asks, his voice dangerously quiet. Oversight, monitoring, regular evaluations of his power levels and control. Richard looks around the room, perhaps limitations on when and how he can use his abilities until he reaches maturity. You want to bind my son's power, I say flatly. Not bind, regulate. But Richard's smile says otherwise, for everyone's safety, including his own. The room erupts into debate. Alphas arguing for and against regulation, fear and reason, battling for dominance. I feel my own Luna power rising in response to my anger and have to actively contain it. Luna Victoria stands, her presence commanding immediate silence. Let me be very clear about something. The Luna Council evaluated Luna Remy extensively. We found no evidence of abuse of power. She has demonstrated exemplary control and ethics. Her children, by extension, benefit from her training and guidance. With all due respect, Luna Victoria, Patricia says, Luna Remy herself went through growing pains with her power. Remember the investigation 3 years ago? The concerns about whether she was influencing pack politics? An investigation that cleared her completely, Victoria reminds everyone. Based on fabricated evidence from Alpha Richard, I might add. Richard's face flushes. That was a misunderstanding. It was a coordinated attack that we thoroughly documented. Victoria's voice is ice. So forgive me if I'm skeptical of your sudden concern for young Adrian's well-being, given your history of targeting his family. This isn't about my history with the Wolfes, Richard protests. This is about genuine concern. Then demonstrate that concern by addressing the 18 boys who bullied a child, I interrupt. By examining why your training program allowed harassment to escalate to physical confrontation. By taking responsibility for creating an environment where my son felt he had no choice but to use his power defensively. The boys have been disciplined, Commander Brooks says from the Observers section. Expelled from the program, in fact. But Luna Remy raises a valid point. We failed Adrian Wolfe. The program is designed to develop young alphas, not protect them from each other. We're implementing new anti-bullying protocols as a result. That doesn't address the power concern, another alpha argues. Because there is no power concern, Luna Lorraine speaks up. She's been sitting quietly but now stands with authority. I've been training Adrian since he was 5 years old. That he has exceptional control for his age. Yes, his power is developing faster than anticipated. But he's also more responsible, more conscientious, and more ethical than most adult alphas I've worked with. He held those boys for 47 minutes not because he wanted to, but because he was terrified to let them go. That's not a sign of dangerous power. That's a sign of a child who needs better training support. Which brings us to a proposal, Luna Victoria says. Rather than regulation or binding, we recommend Adrian receive intensive private training under Luna Lorraine's supervision, supplemented by specialists in advanced alpha abilities. Regular evaluations not as oversight but as assessment to ensure his training is meeting his developmental needs. Essentially rewarding him for the incident, Richard mutters. Essentially providing appropriate education for a child whose abilities are developing at an exceptional rate, Victoria corrects. Unless you'd prefer he receive no training and actually become the danger you're all so worried about? The logic is undeniable. Even the most skeptical alphas can see that inadequate training poses more risk than specialized support. I propose we vote, Morrison says. All in favor of intensive specialized training under Luna Council's supervision rather than power regulation? Hands rise slowly. I count them, heart-pounding. 37 in favor. All opposed? 12 hands, including Richard's. Motion passes. Alpha Adrian Wolfe will receive specialized private training. The Luna Council will provide quarterly progress reports to this body. Any concerns about his development should be directed to the Council rather than spread as fear-mongering. Morrison looks pointedly at Richard. Are we clear? Grudging nods around the room. It's not a complete victory. We still have quarterly reporting, ongoing scrutiny, but it's better than binding or severe regulation. After the session ends, Luna Victoria pulls us aside. That was too close, she says quietly. Richard is gathering support again, using fear of the prophecy to build a new coalition against your family. What do we do? I ask. Keep doing what you're doing. Raise your children well. Demonstrate through their actions that they're not the threat Richard claims. She looks at both of us seriously. But be careful, fear is powerful. Even well-meaning alphas can be swayed by it if circumstances align wrong. At home, we find both kids still awake despite the late hour, sitting with Eleanor in the living room. Mama! Dad! Luna runs to us. Is Adrian in trouble? No, baby. Adrian's not in trouble. I pick her up even though she's getting too big for it. Everything's going to be okay. Adrian looks at us with old eyes. They wanted to bind my power, didn't they? No point lying. Some people wanted to regulate it. We convinced them that better training is a better solution. So I'm getting special training because I'm too powerful for normal training. His voice is flat because I'm too much. No. Dax kneels in front of him. You're getting specialized training because you're exceptional, because your abilities are developing faster than standard programs can accommodate. That's not being too much. That's being exactly who you're meant to be. The other kids are going to hate me even more now. Then we'll find you training partners who understand what you're going through, I say. Kids with early manifestation or exceptional abilities. You're not alone in this, Adrian. Luna has powers too, he says quietly. Are they going to come after her next? The question hangs in the air, heavy with implications, because the answer is probably yes. We'll deal with that if and when it happens, Dax says firmly. Right now, we focus on getting you the training you need, on showing everyone that the prophesied alpha is exactly what the packs need, strong but controlled, powerful but ethical. No pressure, Adrian mutters, but he's smiling slightly. No pressure, I agree. No, just be yourself. That's all we've ever asked. Later, after both kids are finally asleep, Dax and I stand in our bedroom, exhausted. This is just the beginning, I say quietly. As they get older, as their powers develop more, there will be more incidents, more councils, more people afraid of our children. I know. How do we protect them from that? From being feared just for existing? The same way you protected yourself. He pulls me close. By proving through actions that fear is unjustified, by being so ethical, so controlled, so beneficial to the packs that even skeptics have to acknowledge their value. That's a lot of pressure on children. It is. But they're not facing it alone. They have us, their grandparents, Eleanor, Lorraine, an entire support system. He kisses my forehead, and they have each other, Adrian and Luna against the world. That's what I'm afraid of, the world against our children. Then the world better watch out, because we're not letting anyone hurt them. Not Richard, not fearful alphas, not anyone. His certainty is comforting, even if I don't fully share it. Our children are marked by prophecy, blessed and cursed in equal measure. All we can do is love them, train them, protect them as best we can. And hope it's enough. 10 years later. Adrian is 20 years old when he mediates his first major territorial dispute without any assistance. I watch from the observation room as my son, now taller than his father with the same steel gray eyes and commanding presence, guides two hostile alphas toward compromise. His power is evident in every word, every gesture, but he wields it with precision and restraint. "He's better at this than I ever was," I murmur to Dax. "He learned from the best." Dax's arm wraps around my waist. "From you." The mediation concludes successfully. Both alphas shake Adrian's hand, genuine respect in their expressions. My son has become what the prophecy promised, the most powerful alpha in generations. But more importantly, he's become kind, ethical, dedicated to peace rather than conquest. "Mom." Luna appears in the doorway, 15 now and beautiful, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. "Did Adrian finish? I want to show him my new shielding technique." Luna developed into an extraordinarily gifted Luna, her abilities rivaling mine by age 12. But unlike me, she grew up with proper training, with guidance, with a family that understood her gifts. She's confident where I was uncertain, skilled where I was fumbling. "He just finished. Give him a few minutes." I pull her into a hug. "How was your session with Lorraine?" "Amazing. I can now maintain emotional shields on 50 individuals simultaneously while still sensing threats outside the barrier." She grins. "Lorraine says I'll surpass you by 18. You already have, sweetheart. You're extraordinary." "Takes after her mother," Dax says. Adrian emerges from the mediation room, and Luna immediately tackles him with questions about his technique, his power usage, his negotiation strategy. He answers patiently, the way he always does with his sister, protective, supportive, proud. "Ready for tonight?" Adrian asks me. "Tonight, the Continental Pack Alliance Gala celebrating 15 years of successful mediation programs. Territorial disputes are down 78%. Pack warfare has virtually ceased. The system I started has fundamentally transformed how packs interact. Ready as I'll ever be." I smooth my dress nervously, though I still don't understand why they're giving me an award. I just helped people talk to each other. "You revolutionized pack governance," Adrian says. "You taught an entire generation that power doesn't require violence. That's worth celebrating." The gala is elegant, packed with alphas and lunas from across the continent. I see familiar faces. Luna Victoria, retired now but still sharp. Alpha Sarah Chen, whose territory has thrived under the mediation model. Marcus and Sarah with their adult children. And conspicuously absent, Alpha Richard, who finally faced consequences for his decades of manipulation and fear-mongering. He was stripped of his alpha status 5 years ago after one conspiracy too many. Luna Rami Moonhaven Wolfe, the announcer calls, for 15 years of service to pack unity, for revolutionizing conflict resolution, for training the next generation of mediators and leaders, we present the Continental Alliance Lifetime Achievement Award. I walk to the stage, Dax's hand warm in mine. Our children watch from the front row, both beaming with pride. "Thank you," I say into the microphone, looking out at hundreds of faces. "When I started this journey, I was a waitress who didn't know I was the prophesied Luna. I thought I was worthless, forgettable, destined for mediocrity." I pause, finding Dax's eyes in the crowd. "But I learned that prophecies aren't prisons, they're possibilities. That power is what you make it. That change happens through patience and work, not violence and force." I look at Adrian and Luna. My children are growing up in a world where cooperation is valued as much as strength, where mediators are as respected as warriors, where peace isn't weakness, but the highest achievement. That's the world I wanted to build. That's the prophecy fulfilled, not through conquest, but through teaching generations to choose differently. The applause is thunderous. Later at our table, surrounded by family, I think about the journey. From that night at the Apex, rejected, humiliated, thinking my life was over, to this moment surrounded by love and accomplishment and purpose. "What are you thinking?" Dax asks. That Margaret was wrong, that Richard was wrong, that everyone who thought I should be bound or controlled or limited was wrong. I squeeze his hand. That choosing love over revolution, family over power, evolution over destruction, that was exactly right. Best choice you ever made. Second best, I correct. First best was agreeing to that fake mate contract. Still maintaining that story? Forever. Adrian and Luna are deep in conversation with other young alphas and Lunas, already building the networks that will shape the next generation. They're confident, capable, carrying the weight of prophecy with grace we taught them. They're going to be okay, I say, watching them. Better than okay. Dax pulls me close. They're going to be extraordinary, just like their mother. We did good, didn't we? We did great. 20 years since that one night, 2 children, a transformed pack system, a love that started as a desperate contract and became something unbreakable. Ready to go home? Dax asks. Always. But home isn't just a place anymore. It's him. It's our children. It's the family we built from nothing, the legacy we're creating, the future we chose. We slip out early, leaving Adrian and Luna to network and socialize. In the car, Dax takes my hand. Happy? Deliriously. Good, because I'm planning to keep you this happy for the next 50 years. Only 50? Forever, then. Is forever long enough? It's a start. We drive home through the city, lights flickering past, the future stretching bright and endless before us. Somewhere the prophecy continues unfolding through our children, our work, our choices, but it's no longer terrifying, it's just life, messy and beautiful, and ours. I love this life, I murmur. Me too, Oatmeal, me too. And in that moment, with my mate beside me and our children thriving, and the world we helped create spreading out in all directions, I know with absolute certainty we chose right. Every step, every challenge, every moment of doubt, all of it led here. To peace, to love, to family, to a prophecy fulfilled not through power, but through choosing to be better every single day, together, always together. The end. The prophecy spoke of a Luna who would unite the packs. It didn't specify how. Through the mediation programs she pioneered, the children she raised, and the example she set, Remy Moonhaven Wolfe transformed pack society from the inside out. Her legacy isn't conquest or revolution, it's generations of wolves who choose cooperation over conflict, peace over power. The prophesied alpha, Adrian Wolfe, would become the youngest Alpha Council chair in history at age 25, continuing his mother's work toward pack unity. His sister, Luna Grace Wolfe, would establish the first Luna Academy, training young Lunas in power control and ethical leadership. And their parents, Remy and Dax, would grow old together, watching their children's children carry forward the change they started. Sometimes prophecies aren't about one dramatic moment. Sometimes they're about 1,000 small choices made with love, building towards something better. And sometimes the rejected waitress and the billionaire alpha who found each other in a bar one October night create a legacy that transforms the world. Not bad for a fake mate contract.